Good evening, football fans. We are coming to you live from Central High School for tonight's Mountain 7 Conference football action between the Central Warriors and the visiting Gate City Blue Devils. It's been a while since we brought you a football game. The Central Warriors have been on the road for the last 3 weeks, but we're glad to be bringing you tonight's contest and hopefully next week's contest when the Warriors take on the Grundy Golden Wave. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. With over 400 wins and 50 tournament titles, including last year's USSSA World Series and back-to-back state titles, they are a premier organization. They've been fielding elite travel baseball teams for the last 7 years, brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. Shade Tree Landscaping will be tonight's first down sponsor. I'm joined tonight by Kelly Foster. I'm Chris Wilson. Well, we've been fortunate enough to bring you all the home Central Warriors football games. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, it's been about 3 weeks since we brought you our last broadcast. The Central Warriors have been on the road, and over that time, Kelly, a lot of things have changed. What can you tell our viewers about what's happened over the last 3 weeks?
Well, I don't know if I can tell our viewers anything, but I can tell our listeners some things tonight. First of all, the Warriors sorry, Chris, had to get on you right out of the gate.
Yeah.
The Warriors headed to John Battle for a Mountain 7 clash down there with the John Battle Trojans. Did not go the Warriors' way. They wound up falling in that game by the score of 20-0. That marked the first start for freshman quarterback Ethan Muller for Isaiah McAmus, who suffered a torn ACL earlier in the season. Then the Warriors traveled to Big Stone Gap to take on the Union Bears. Again, another tough task for the Warriors. They fell in that game by the final score of 38-13. There were some bright spots toward the end of the game with the Bears, which carried over to last week's game at Lee as the Warriors went to take on the Generals of Lehigh. The Warriors won their first district game of the season last week, defeating the Lehigh Generals by the score of 27-21. In that football game were big games out of the running backs, Matthew Boggs and C.J. Crabtree. So the Warriors come into tonight's game with a record of 2-6, taking on the 1-8 Gate City Blue Devils. Now, quite a bit still on the line, even though the Warriors are 2-6, still quite a bit on the line for the Warriors heading into tonight's Mountain 7 district game. The Warriors currently sit in 9th place HSL PowerPoint standings. The top 8 from our region will advance into the playoffs, and currently the Warriors sit at 9th behind Marion and John Battle. So a win tonight against Gate City. Follow that with a win, a potential win next week at home versus Grundy, and the Warriors could very well find themselves in the thick of the playoff conversation.
So, yeah, even though the Warriors haven't exactly played, stellar football all season, and with a 2-6 record, with 2 wins here to close out the season, as you mentioned, they chance to get into the postseason here with the Central Warriors with that 4-6 overall record. So, a lot to play for here tonight at Central High School as the Warriors take on Gate City. These two teams played each other last year to conclude the regular season, and I believe Gate City came out of that game victorious in a pitcher's duel. I think the final score of that one was 8-6 a year ago in the season. Again, the two teams come in tonight with the 6. And Gate City, this is their season finale, and they come in with a record of 1-8. Gate City's lone win coming against the Generals of Lehigh. And again, as you mentioned, Kelly, Central victorious just a week ago over those Lehigh Generals. Again, tonight's game is it's a Thursday night game. No Friday night lights tonight with some rain showers and some potential wet weather rolling in here in the Wise tomorrow. The powers that be have elected to move the game from Friday night to Thursday night. So we have some Thursday night action here at Central High School. We're about 9 minutes away from kickoff. The Gate City Marching Band is currently out on the field playing some pregame music. Both bands here before the game decorated in some Halloween costumes. Looking around, you see all kinds of variety of colors. You see a Winnie the Pooh, and I've seen some Mario and Luigi's, and a variety of costumes. Both bands are festive in their Halloween attire.
Yeah, a lot of the band members are in full Halloween costumes. Yet no one has yet to match the costume from week 1 that Jordan Bishop wore with his cut-off jean shorts and America tank top. Nobody can come close to that.
That is true. Again, to go back and listen to that week 1 contest when the Warriors were victorious over the Eastside Spartans. Again, it was American night that night, and Jordan Bishop had on a
Daisy Dukes,
some Daisy Dukes, and a nice American flag shirt. Of course, I look down here to our right, and Peanut's wearing his Halloween mask for tonight's game. He'll probably have to take that off before kickoff if he's going to keep accurate stats. Oh, I'm sorry. Peanut is not wearing a mask. Okay. I was confused there. Sorry about that, Peanut. But again, we're about 8 minutes away from kickoff in this huge, it's a 2-6 versus a 1-8 record matchup tonight, but a lot on the line. Again, Warriors with a couple of the season could possibly make it into the postseason to sell playoffs. Gate City's band now is exiting the field, and we'll await the Central High School marching band and the national anthem. Again, Ben Harding's band group here off to our right, preparing to come out and do their skit here before the game. At this time, J.W. Salyers, the acting athletic director here at Central, is presenting tonight's game ball. It looks like it is being presented to Emma McAmus. Not exactly sure who tonight's game ball is sponsored. Looks like perhaps maybe some of the Mount Olive youth, the Mount Olive Church here in Wise. Some of the youth members there at the church being presented tonight's game ball. Kelly, you've got some maybe some important substitutions here. Now we got a few injuries here for the Central Warriors. Here as we get ready to take on Gate City, got a quick rundown of some of the injuries to look for tonight.
That's right. The Warriors come in tonight's game with several key injuries. First of all, we've already noted that Isaiah McAmus is out for the remainder of the season, and everybody, I think, knows that. Also out tonight is center McKinley Dale. Now, that's something we want to keep an eye on. As you know, the center is a very important position on the football field. So McKinley is out tonight. Taking his spot is going to be Ben Stallard, who will be playing center tonight for the Central Warriors. Also at right tackle, the starting right tackle for much of the season, Zach Roberts. He is out tonight. He has been replaced by Isaiah Reynolds. We're having chairs fall over here in the
Peanut did not like my mask comment, I guess, and decided to throw a chair at us.
Peanut got mad and just took his chair and left. But anyway, Ben Stallard playing center tonight on the offensive side of the football. Isaiah Reynolds playing right tackle tonight on the offensive side of the football. Also, Ben has also had to change his number in the past. Ben has wore number 16 tonight. He will sport the number 55.
Yeah, as he shifts away from his typical position to the offensive line, so the uniform number. Kelly, it's a gorgeous night. I know earlier in the season, about kickoff time, we still had some sunny skies, and the sun was up, and it was a bright, sunny late evening. But at this point here, as the fall has begun, and we're getting closer and closer to winter, the sun has set. It is a dark night sky. The lights are on, and we talked a lot about it at the start of the year, but fall has now hit us, and we're getting closer to winter.
Yeah, fall is here. The nights are getting longer and the days are getting shorter. Again, a good night to play football here tonight at Central High School. As we've brought good weather every night that we've done these broadcasts. We've been very fortunate for all of our home games this season. Out on the field right now, it looks like a ceremony going on to honor the late Trig Dotson. From Pound High School, who was a very successful coach back in the 1950s. Him out here on the field activities.
Yeah, I see a few familiar faces out there. I see Stacy Potter standing out there. School board member Herb Short is also out there at this time, honoring, as you said, Trigg, and a few other familiar faces. Clifton out there as well. So, yeah, there's about a dozen people out there honoring, as you said, Trigg here tonight before kickoff here against Gate City.
Yeah, see longtime J.J. Kelly supporter James Watts out there.
Yeah, I remember old Mr. Watts from way back. He was even there back in our day. There we go again with that hour day talk. We'll try to spare fans the back in hour day talk after our homecoming spectacular from the last home game at halftime. Again, we're now under 4 minutes prior to the kickoff. Both teams' cheerleading squads are preparing in the end zones as, again, the marching band for game to one, and so the teams will be prepared to again run out for the opening kickoff. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club, Southwest Virginia's premier travel baseball organization, as well as Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping.
I'll tell you tonight, Chris, we're getting about 3 minutes to kickoff. Watching the Gate City Blue Devils warm up, we like to give our listeners kind of an idea of what the teams are going to do coming into the game. And watching Gate City warm up tonight, looks like they're going to be a running attack, a running style offense, running a lot of veer and T formations as the night goes along. We can expect much of the same from the Central Warriors when they have the ball on the offensive side. So this looks to be like an old-fashioned LPD ground and pound football game. So as the weather gets cold, the run more, smash stuff, and that's what we need to look for tonight out of both of these offenses.
Yeah, again, I mentioned, reference last year's game. The final score was 8-6, and that's the kind of game you expect to see in a low-scoring slugfest. Just they pound it out and ground it out, and whichever team maybe breaks the tackle for the long run or is able to punch that touchdown in will come out of here victorious. Again, we mentioned our game sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor of Sturgill Sports Media and these Warriors broadcasts, please get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us at Sturgill S Media. That is on Twitter, or you can even get in touch with us at Warrior Nation Blog on Twitter. That is Warrior NATN Blog on Twitter. Or you can send us an email at warriornationblog@gmail.com. Again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, any sponsorship goes for that contest and remains throughout the rest of the season, not just football, but it will carry over into basketball. So if you like these broadcasts, it will help make sure that these things continue on throughout the school year. Please get in touch with Evan Sturgill at one of those addresses or one of those links, because we'd love to continue to bring these broadcasts to you, not just Kelly and I, but whoever's capable of bringing you the basketball and baseball games during the regular season and even the postseason. Please get in touch with us. Again, we need sponsors in order to make these contests happen. Without sponsorship, again, we cannot bring you these games, not only for you to listen to, but for the players to be able to go back and listen to later. At this time, the Central Marching Band is on the field under the direction of Ben Harding. And at this time, we will step away for the playing of the national anthem. Get another outstanding job there by Ben Harding and the Central Band with that rendition of the Star Spangled Banner here in the national anthem just prior to kickoff. We're coming to you live from Central High School. Tonight's Mountain 7 Conference matchup between the Central Warriors and the visiting Gate City Blue Devils. Again, a lot on the line tonight for the Central Warriors. A couple of wins to close out the season would get them into the playoffs. At this time, both teams are lining up in their respective end zones. The cheerleaders have their signs up, awaiting the teams to come running through the banner. For the Central Warriors tonight, Kelly, they were dressed in their black jerseys with white pants, silver helmets with some pink trim as we fight for cancer here at Central High School. And the cheerleaders are in their black uniforms with pink trim as well. A lot of pink going on here tonight for breast cancer awareness. Gate City will be dressed in their road white uniforms with black pants and white helmets. Yeah,
very classy move by the Central Warriors tonight, going with the pink to support the fight against cancer. As we know, that's a dreadful word, a dreadful disease. I know that we have many people that are listening and, that have been affected by that disease. So it's good to promote the awareness there. And so good job by the Central football team, cheerleaders, and the coaching staffs of getting that together tonight.
Absolutely. I won't leave Gate City out. I look out here, and it looks like the Gate City cheerleaders also have some pink. They're supporting the pink pom-poms and things like that. So I don't want to leave them out. Anybody who is honoring that fight and doing what they can for that deserve to get recognized, regardless of what school you represent tonight. It don't matter if you're from Gate City or Central. If you're fighting for cancer, we're all on the same side of that battle. And again, you look down here and you've got some of the flag corps here for Central. A lot of them decked out in pink. We see some pink balloons over here on the Central, the student section side. And, again, a lot of pink being displayed here for the fight for, again, women's cancer, breast cancer, and for any form of cancer. The referee just has the coin toss. He throws it about 5 yards in the air. It started at the 50. He advanced it to the 45 with the coin toss.
And I got to say, the head official of tonight's game is Chris Davis, and he showed off his arm right there.
Yeah, Central wins the coin toss, and they believe they have elected to defer. And so Gate City will kickoff again. Chris Davis, you may be familiar with. Again, he's the voice of the Cavs there at the Convocation Center. He brought some games to you last year during basketball season, and like I said, just made a 5-yard pass there from the 50 to the 45-yard line.
One of the more impressive coin tosses I have ever seen. Good job there by Davis.
Yeah, probably one of the few times we've actually talked a lot about the coin toss. But then again, we're still waiting for kickoff. So whatever we can find to talk about, we'll talk about it. And Chris Davis gave us something to talk about there with that spectacular.
And I told him earlier today that we would mention him. We did not know we would mention him this early in the broadcast.
And he probably wishes it wasn't for that reason. But nonetheless, Chris Davis, we did mention you. Gate City has now run out of their banner from the left end zone. The Central Warriors are gathering up in the Warriors end zone, and here they come running through their banner. And the Central Warriors will be kicking off tonight, so they will send their defensive unit contest. And Kelly, here we are. I guess this is week 10 of the regular season. Central already has had their bye. This is Gate City's 10th and final game of the regular season. Only one more week to go. Time to lay it all out there on the line.
Yeah, a lot to play for tonight, and that's exactly what we hoped that tonight's game would bring. As we looked at it early in the season, we were hoping that we would be in the mix fighting for a playoff spot, and even at 2-6, we are. This is a great time of the year to be a football player and to play football. This is when it's enjoyable. The weather is not a factor. You're not going to get as tired. There may be some bumps and bruises from the previous weeks, but this is good football playing weather. I'm excited to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, again, as we've mentioned, a lot cooler weather than some of the other games we've brought you. Again, it's been 3 full weeks since we brought you a game, and the weather has changed quite drastically here in Wise over the last couple of weeks. As I said, it's almost like we went from summer straight to winter, but I'll take this weather just about every day. I like this cool weather, and for football, this is football weather. It's nice, and we're ready to play some football. Central is lined up for the kickoff. I believe that's Peyton Rogers lined up for the kickoff. He kicks it from the 40. It's a little short pooch kick that Gate City will receive at their own 36-yard line. They'll cross the 40. He'll be met by a whole host of players that are just beyond the 40 and finally brought down at about the 43-yard line. So Gate City will begin their opening drive from their own 43-yard line.
And we'll see what the Gate City offense does as they form the first huddle of the football game, and we'll see how this Warrior defense stacks up, primarily against a heavy run Gate City offense.
Yeah, we've been informed that they like to run a veer offense or maybe even a heavy T offense. They come out here on the opening drive, and it looks like they're going with two guys in the backfield. That is John Sally at quarterback. He hands it off. The handoff is number 10. He'll get about 2 yards out to about the 45. That's the running back is Luke Reed for Gate City. We'll give him a gain of maybe 1, maybe 2 yards. We'll make it slow.
Logan Mullins in on that tackle for the Warriors. Logan he's had a really good season. That's a tough position to play there as a linebacker coming in as a freshman. You know, you're a young kid playing against a lot of older kids, but he stepped in there and made a good play that time.
Again, Gate City's quarterback is John Sally, not to be confused with the old Detroit Piston John Sally. The main two running backs are Logan Tomlinson and Luke Reed. Tomlinson, number 20, Luke Reed, number 10. It's a handoff again by Gate City. They'll cross the 45, get it out to about the 50-yard line. So they'll pick up about 4 yards on the run up the middle. That time it was by number 20, Logan Tomlinson, with a pickup of about 4.
Yeah, and Tyson Tester in on the tackle that time for the Warriors. Another freshman, another linebacker. These guys have cut their teeth this season, and now that you're kind of seeing them stepping up, making some plays here. So 3rd down and 4 for Gate City. Expect another run of some type here as the Blue Devils are at midfield.
So Sally goes up under center. Again, Kelly, it's one of the few times this season we've been able to watch a Central Warriors game where the opposing quarterback has gone under center. Sally takes the snap. It's a no-go yard gain. The Warriors will step up and make the stop at Luke Reed. There is a flag on the play. We'll have to wait and see what the call. But if it's as long as it's not on the Warriors, it'll be a crucial 3rd down stop by Central.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Looks like the Warrior defense is retreating. Personal foul face mask penalty. Man, that's a killer. Tester got some good penetration there on that 3rd down. We had stopped them short, and now the personal foul face mask negates all that, and Gate City will now have the ball on the Warriors' 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, the Warrior defense was able to stop Reed. He only had about 2 yards. It was going to bring up a 4th down and short situation. Instead, Gate City will now have the ball at the Warriors' 35-yard line. So here on the opening drive, Gate City having a little bit of momentum, and Gate City unable to kind of figure out what to do on this play, and they'll call timeout with 10 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the 1st quarter.
Well, you can see early on, Chris, what kind of game we're going to have. I mean, it's just a smash mouth football. It's nothing fancy. Gate City's just line tackle, and the Warriors are going to have to help with some kind of defensive stand here now that as they have allowed. First of all, the short kickoff by Rogers, which looked like a called play. They were trying to get a little pooch kick. You never know if the guy doesn't come up and field that for Gate City. Warriors have a chance to jump on that football. 3 consecutive runs, which the Warrior defense held up well against. Unfortunately, the personal foul face mask has put the Blue Devils in good field position here.
Yeah, again, the Gate City would have had about a 4th down and 2 had the face masking penalty not occurred. So you don't know what would have happened after that. But again, it does give Gate City the automatic 1st down and really good field position here on this opening drive. Again, Gate City has the ball at the Warriors' 35-yard line. Again, John Sally looks around. He's flanked by 2 wide receivers to his right and 2 running backs behind him. Sally will pitch it this time to number 2. That's Levi Roten. He'll be met in the backfield by a whole host of Warriors. He was met 5 yards back in the backfield at the 40. He's able to advance it to about the 38, so it's going to be a loss of about 2 or 3. So good job by the defense right there by the Warriors on the edge.
Again, Tyson Tester in making the initial contact, blowing that play up before it had a chance to get anything started. So 2nd and 12 now for Gate City. Maybe a pass here.
We'll have to wait and see again. You know, all the other games we've brought you guys. Again, it was a Graham game.
High-flying football.
Graham threw the ball around. Eastside threw the ball around. So we saw some more passing attacks. And Gate City so far comes out tonight and has ran 4 straight runs. That was the first run that was around the edge. The other runs were up the middle. Again, it's 2nd down and 12. Sally's back under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off to the deep back, off to the right-hand side. That's Luke Reed. he'll get it back to the original line of scrimmage and won't pick up much more before he's finally tripped up by the Warriors. They'll mark him down at the 35, so it brings up a 3rd down and 10.
Logan Mullins in on that tackle for the Warriors. So far tonight, Logan and Tyson are having their way, which means the defensive line for the Warriors are doing their job, keeping the linebackers clean. They're able to come through and make tackles.
So far, again, it's been Gate City running the ball up the middle. They did run the 1st down play. They tried to hit the edge with Roten and was unable to do so. Again, it's 3rd down and 10 here for Gate City. Ball at the Warriors' 35-yard line. Sally drops back. This time he looks to pass. A good rush up the middle by the Warriors. The pass is thrown, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for Levi Roten over here on the right-hand side. It was just a little bit too high. It deflects off of his fingertips. It'll come up incomplete and bring up a 4th down and 10 for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Sally was under great distress there. There was great pressure there by the Warriors defensive line. I couldn't get the number of the Warrior player who came and hit Sally just as he was throwing the football, which made that ball go incomplete. But now it's 4th and 10.
Yeah, the Warriors had pretty good pressure on the edge. I was watching the edge rushers, and right before Sally released the pass, he was hit up the middle. So the Warriors had 2 or 3 guys in the backfield on that pass attempt, and perhaps we're seeing why Gate City may not look to pass a whole lot. Gate City on 4th down comes out with 3 wide receivers. It's a trick play and a reverse. There's a flag on the play, but it ain't going to matter if it's against the Blue Devils. And, there's a lot going on right there, Kelly. Gate City tried to turned into a pass. There was about 4 flags thrown on the play. The pass was thrown complete. The Gate City receiver caught it and just stood there. He got hit by a Warrior, and then they blew the play dead.
Okay, this is a different play. This was a reverse pass.
Yeah.
First out of the gate. There was a hold on Gate City early in the play. It looked as though the receiver who became then the passer for Gate City had given up on the play, threw it to the first person that he could see, and it was an offensive lineman who caught the ball and just stood there with the ball. And then the officials came and blew the Warrior defender actually came up and hit him. Then they blew the play dead.
Yeah, and Chris Davis just finished some calisthenics on all those plays out there. Again, it was a holding penalty against Gate City, and then it was an illegal receiver downfield penalty, and I believe it was an illegal touching penalty by Gate City, all of which were declined. The Warriors will now take over on downs with the ball on their own 44-yard line. So here comes the Central Warriors offense led by quarterback Ethan Mullins. He's in the shotgun. C.J. Crabtree goes in the motion off to the right. Crabtree with a good gain. He's across the 50 and the 45. He's into Gate City territory. He'll be marked down at the 40-yard line. Give Crabtree a gain of 16 yards, Kelly.
Yeah, the Warriors start the game in a shotgun formation with 2 wings and receivers to both sides. And Crabtree took the ball on the snap, got a huge gain around the right side. Crabtree and Matthew Boggs, 2 names to keep an eye on tonight for the Central Warriors.
So good gain right there by the Warriors on their first opening play of the contest here on offense. You know, we're at 8 minutes and 29 seconds here in the first quarter. The Warriors have the ball for the first time. Crabtree goes in motion. It looks like the identical play again. It's handed off by Mullins. Crabtree gets it across the 35 off the right-hand side. He's inside the 35. Looks like they'll mark him down at the 33-yard line. So give Crabtree a gain of 7 there on first down.
The Warriors' offensive line having their way with the Gate City defensive front to start this game. So real positive plays early on by the Central Warriors. Good runs there to start the game by C.J. Crabtree, running hard, running determined. We'll see if the Warriors can cash in now in territory.
Again, Ethan Mullins, the quarterback for Central Warriors, is back in the shotgun. He takes the snap. It's a handoff again in motion. That's to, I believe that's Lester. Lester crosses the 30. He'll be inside the 30. That'll be enough for the Warriors' first down. And there's a late penalty flag, Kelly, on the play.
Yeah, late penalty flag. It looks like that will go against the Gate City Blue Devils. And, Chris, I believe on that last carry was Maddox Reynolds. So we'll see what the penalty is. Looks like maybe a face mask penalty, which will put the Warriors inside the Gate City 20-yard line. Another personal foul face mask.
It is a personal foul face mask this time on Gate City, and you are correct. It was number 12, not number 13. That was Maddox Reynolds on the carry, not Damai Lester. So the penalty now marches the Warriors down inside the red zone, Kelly. They're down at the 14-yard line. The 14-yard line. Scoreboard has it down as the 9. We're actually on the 14-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 by the Warriors here at the 14-yard line. Mullins is under center. He hands it off to the deep back. He didn't quite catch who that was. He'll be met pretty much at the line of scrimmage, Kelly. So the run up the middle goes, but not much more than that.
Yeah, they sent Crabtree in a jet motion to the right, faked the ball to him, handed the ball to Matthew Boggs up the middle. Boggs was met initially at the line of scrimmage and then forged ahead to pick up one. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 9 now for Central.
Yeah, they'll give him a gain of 1. And, Kelly, one thing I've already noticed here so far with the Central offense, we're seeing a little bit some different type of offensive plays so far. Again, Ethan Mullins up under center that time. We haven't seen the Warriors quarterback under center much, at least here in the home games. Crabtree takes the handoff this time to the right. He's going to be met in the backfield this time. Look like a very similar play to what the Warriors have already run twice so far. This time it won't work for Crabtree. He'll be met in the backfield. He'll be taken down at the 15-yard line. So it'll be a loss of 2 and bring up a 3rd down and long for the Warriors.
Yeah, we're getting a little too east and west instead of getting north and south there. But Gate City did a good job stringing that play out, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long now for Central. And, Chris, if you go back from the games that we've done earlier in the season for Central, we have shown the good between the 20s. And then once inside the 20-yard line, we kind of bogged down.
Yeah, we do have a tough time with that. Again, you can't fault Coach Owens there. He's ran that play twice so far, and it worked well 2 times. So why not go back to the well one more time? This time it doesn't work. Again, we got a guy in motion. It's another handoff this time up the middle. I believe that's the Crabtree. He's going to be down at about the 10-yard line. He runs it off to the right. If they mark him down at the 10, it'll be a 4th down. It's going to be about 4th down and 5. So a key 4th down here for the Warriors on their opening offensive possession.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here on 4th down. CJ did a good job on that 3rd down play. He stuck his foot in the ground, got upfield, got all he could get. So now it's 4th and about 6 for Central with 5:40 to go here in the first quarter with no score.
We see Damai Lester and Ben Brickey both run onto the field, both wide receivers for the Central Warriors.
Keep an eye on Ben.
Yep, so Ethan Mullins again in the shotgun. We've got 2 wide receivers, and we have a timeout this time called by the Central Warriors. Again, we have 5 minutes and 28 seconds here in the game. Both teams have touched the ball 1 time. Central still on their opening offensive possession, driving the ball down the field 10-yard line, but they'll break this timeout with a crucial 4th down and 6 if they want to get any points on the board.
Well, so far, Chris, this game has been exactly as we thought it would be. 2 heavy run-oriented offenses in Gate City and Central. Gate City bogs down on their first offensive possession. Central takes control of the football, marches down the field, now has it on the Gate City 10-yard line, 4th and 6. So we'll see what the Warriors come up with. I'm looking to see. It looks like maybe, Chris, they've sent the field goal team and Peyton Rogers out onto the field.
Yeah, now they'll set up. It looks like they're going to try to go for 3 and maybe take the early lead. Again, so far, Central has drove the ball down the field. They picked up 3 first downs. Failed to mention that those are shade tree landscaping first downs here by the Warriors. So Peyton Rogers says for the field goal, he's on the right hash mark. It'll be about a 27-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it looks like he pushed it, and that is correct. It will be wide right, Kelly. Lions tries to get on the board here early on in the game, but the field goal attempt is wide right. And so with 5:23, the score remains scoreless.
Yeah, again, another trip down inside the red zone for the Warriors, and they come away with no points on that field goal. It looked like maybe the snap may have been a little inside behind the holder, Damai, who did a good job getting it down, but it looked like maybe the rhythm of that kick was thrown off just a little.
Yeah, I didn't quite see who the holder was. I did see before the game that Derek Dameron was doing some long snapping, so perhaps he was the long snapper on that play. I'm not exactly sure. Gate City takes the ball. Sally hands it off. It's a run up the middle by Gate City, and it's going to be met with no success as a host of Central Warriors meet the run at the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a no gain, so 2nd down and 10 for Gate City.
Tyson Tester again in on the tackle, making one of the initial contact there for the Central Warriors. One really good thing, well, there's a lot of good things about these pink jerseys, Chris, but one really good thing about them is you can tell who the players are tonight.
Yeah, is that a shot at me? Because I've already messed up 12 and 13.
No, I mean, I can see it.
Sally takes the snap up under center. It's a handoff to the left by Gate City. It gets out to about the 15-yard line where a couple of Central Warriors bring down the Gate City runner. It'll go down as a gain of 4, bringing up a 3rd down, and we're going to call it 5 here for Gate City.
Yeah, newly numbered number 55, Ben Stallard in on that tackle for Central. It brings up a 3rd and long for Gate City. And we'll see if this Central defense can lock down again on third down.
So if one thing the missed field goal has done, it kept the field position battle here in Central's favor. Of course, not converting the fourth down would have done so as well. It's an option play by Gate City. Sally pitches it off to Reed off to the right-hand side. He gets it across the 30-yard line, out around the 35-yard line. That'll be enough for a Gate City first down. It looks like they're going to mark him down at the 33. So on third down and 5, they're going to pick up 8, and it will be a first down for the Blue Devils at the 34-yard line.
Really good job there by the Gate City quarterback, Sally, of pitching the ball to his running back. He got hit early, but that's what they opted.
Yeah, again, by the time he got hit, he pitched it out right there, and a good job by Gate City to pick up the first down. So Sally goes back up under center again. This time it's a handoff to number 2. That's Roten. He'll be met in the backfield by the Central Warriors. They're going to mark him down as at a loss of 1, so it'll be second down and 11 for Gate City.
Yeah, a little counter play, a little counter action that time for Gate City. Again, in on the tackle, Tyson Tester and Logan Mullins.
So far for Gate City, we've called Sally's name at quarterback, and then it's either Luke Reed, Logan Tomlinson, or Levi Roten, who have pretty much carried the ball on every play so far, other than that one trick play that didn't really fool anybody. So it's second down and 10. Gate City has the ball at their own 34-yard line. We're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Sally hands the ball off. That's handoff to Reed, who goes off the right. He's got enough for a first down. He crosses midfield. He's down at around at the Central Warriors 42-yard line. So a good run that time by Reed, give him a gain of 22 yards. And now Gate City has the ball in Central Warriors territory.
Just a simple off-tackle play that time by Bitten has now flipped.
Yeah, so we've played right at 9 minutes of football here so far, Kelly, and we've yet to see a pass attempt other than that, like I said, that one trick play. But for the most part, it's been all ground. That's what you said before the game. Expect a lot of ground and pound, and that's what we're seeing so far. Again, Sally up under center. He's joined by Reed and Tomlinson in the backfield. He hands it off to, that is, Tomlinson. He goes off the left. He breaks a tackle. He breaks another tackle. He finally crosses the 30-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 15, Kelly, and give Gate City another first down.
Well, they're getting big chunks, but they're getting them off of missed tackles. You know, and I've made mention in the earlier broadcast, we have to get guys on the ground. Missed tackle there leads to a 15-yard gain.
So this drive by Gate City started at their own 20. They've now drove it all the way down to the Warriors' 27-yard line. So a good sustained drive so far by Gate City.
Nothing fancy.
And nothing fancy, just handing off, run up the middle, run off to the right, run off to the left. Sally up off this time again to Tomlinson. He goes off to the left-hand side. He's got out in front, Kevin. He's got another first down for Gate City as he's finally brought down at the Warriors' 17-yard line. Give him a gain of 10.
Yeah, they found something on that left side of their offensive line and the right side of our defensive line. They're exploiting that right now.
So Gate City's already broke the huddle. Again, the play clock just now being started. So Gate City kind of hurrying it up just a little bit. Sally goes up under center. It's another handoff to Tomlinson off the left-hand side. He's got a host of blockers. He's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. And Kelly, he's across the end zone. I believe I saw a touchdown signal. It is a touchdown. So give Gate City 6 points. That is a 16-yard run by number 20, Logan Tomlinson, for Gate City. And with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's Gate City 6, Central Warriors 0.
The reason that huddle didn't take so long is they got back in the huddle and said same play, same play. They got to the line, ran the same play, and they punched it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like they ran that same play about 3 or 4 times right there in a row, and no reason to stop running it as they finally zone and they had success all 4 times. The extra point, there's the snap, but we have a whistle. The play will be blown dead before the kick was actually attempted. We'll wait and see what the penalty is. We see the head referee, Chris Davis, looking over towards us. It's going to be an offsides penalty on the Warriors. So that'll march at half the distance to the goal. And, Kelly, I see some Blue Devils sprint off the field. Let's see if Gate City decides now to go for 2 instead of the traditional extra point, since the ball is now on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, critical mistake there by the special teams unit of the Central Warriors, which now gives Gate City the opportunity to go for 2.
And they will go for 2 as we see Sally now back up under center. He's joined by, again, that's Tomlinson and Reed in the backfield. He hands it off to Reed. There's a flag on the play. The 2-point conversion is successful, but let's see what the play is. Head referee Chris Davis signaling that the penalty will be a false start penalty. So we go from half the distance to the goal. Now we're going to march back 5 yards. So it'll be at the 6. Let's see what Gate City elects to do now from the 6-yard line.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever you can do, I can do better. So they commit a ball back now, and we'll see what they do. It looks like they're going to line up for the extra. Looks like they're going to line up. Yeah, they're going to try to kick it now.
I'll say the Warriors did it better because our penalty was only worth 1.5 yards. Gate City's was worth 5. Yep. So now we'll march it back. The extra point will now be a 25-yard extra point as Gate City's holder kneels at the 15-yard line. There's the snap. The kick is up. It's a low-line drive kick, and the kick is good. It barely crosses the crossbar and just squeaks inside of the left upright. So the extra point gives Gate City a 7-0 lead with 2:22 left here in the first quarter.
Run-heavy drive that time by the Gate City Blue Devils. They found a lot of traction on the ground. Chris, did you get the length of the last drive? It was I think it was 90 yards. No, it started on the 17.
We missed the field goal.
Started on the 17, so an 83-yard drive by Gate City there. We're still in the first quarter with 2:22 to go. Gate City up on top early, 7-0. So Central defense is going to have to feel what happened on that last drive, and they better find out quick.
Yeah, so it's an 83-yard drive, all 83 yards coming on the ground, and a lot of them coming on the legs of number 20, Logan Tomlinson. Again, he'll be credited with the touchdown there, with, like I said, with 2:22 remaining here in the first quarter. Central Warriors line up now to receive the ensuing kickoff. Okay, I was just thinking, is there another time you use the word ensuing other than for a kickoff?
Ensuing?
Ensuing. It's always the ensuing kickoff. It's never the ensuing anything else. It's just the ensuing kickoff.
Not the ensuing oil change?
No, it's never. No, it's always the ensuing kickoff. All right, so here comes the kickoff. The Warriors have 2 guys back deep. Didn't quite check out their numbers. I believe it's probably Matthew Bogg. It's a short kick, though. The Warriors will fall on it at their own 39-yard line. That's number 35, I believe, who received the kick. Don't have his number here on my roster, Kelly. A lot of changes here for the Central Warriors tonight when it comes to the last couple of weeks. We'll try to do the best we can at bringing you who some of these guys are as we go. So the Warriors will start this drive with decent field position. They'll start at their own 39-yard line. Again, 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. Gate City just scored a touchdown, and the Warriors trail 7-0.
Look for the Warriors to get Ben Brickey involved on this offensive drive.
Ethan Mullins this time going up under center. He's joined by 2 wide receivers and a running back. There goes C.J. Crabtree in motion. It's a handoff to the wide receiver. That's number 12. That's Maddox Reynolds. Maddox was lined up as a wide receiver. He went in the motion there. So a little trickery there on that run play. A couple of different running backs. You hand it off to the wide receiver. It won't go for anything. In fact, it'll go backwards a yard. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, counter play that time by the Warriors, trying to go off of that action with CJ, who had great success in the first drive, but a good job there by the Gate City defense.
Again, Ethan Mullins will line up under center. Again, we haven't seen that a lot out of the Warriors in our previous home games. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Instead, it'll be handed off to the back in the backfield. This play will also not go for much. It's a run up the middle. The center back will be brought down right at the 40-yard line. So it's a gain of 2. Is that Matthew Boggs, Kelly?
Yeah, that was Matthew Boggs on the carry. And it looks like Gate City's defense selling out against the run. Right now, the Warriors are going to need to open it up here on 3rd and long.
So it brings up a key 3rd and 9. Again, Gate City scoring on their last possession. The Warriors would, if nothing else, obviously like to put some points up on the board, but if nothing else, see a sustained drive here on this next possession. Would not want to give Gate City the ball back quite this soon after just scoring a touchdown. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. He takes the snap, drops back the pass. He looks to his left and says it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He runs it. He's across the 50-yard line. It's going to be a Warriors 1st down. He's finally going to be wrestled down at the 45-yard line. Looks like it could have been a face mask penalty, but the referee decides not to call it, instead deciding that Ethan was just wrestled down by his head. But a good run right there on maybe the quarterback pass run option type play. Again, the run started at the 40-yard line, so it's going to be a 15-yard gain for Ethan Mullins on the run.
That's what Ethan can do. Ethan's an athlete. I think you saw that when Ethan's backer from Gate City and outran him for the 1st down.
The Warriors break the huddle. They have 2 wide receivers and 1 guy in the backfield. Ethan Mullins up under the center. There goes Maddox Reynolds in motion. Again, it's going to be handed off to the up back. I believe that's Matthew Boggs. Again, he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage, Kelly. Give Matthew Boggs, looks like a no gain, maybe a gain of 1 on the short run.
Between the tackles right now, Gate City's defensive front is really laying it on our offensive line. We're going to have to get these guys going.
We got 20 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The play clock has just been signaled into motion, so there's about a 5-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. The Warriors do not have to snap it, but they break the huddle. It looks like they will try to get one more play off here in the first quarter, and they will. C.J. Crabtree goes into motion. It's a pitch from Ethan Mullins to Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's going to get maybe a yard off of that right-hand side, Kelly, as the first quarter comes to an end.
Yeah, that was kind of an odd-looking play. It wasn't exactly a traditional side. It was almost like a shot put type pitch to CJ, who took the ball and tried to get the best out of it. Just didn't really materialize there. But that brought us to the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, it was like a pitch play, but it wasn't like it didn't go out wide. It was kind of a pitch, real short, close pitch, and then kind of a run up the middle. It did look a little odd. So that's, like I said, that's the end of the first quarter. Gate City, with that last touchdown, has taken a 7-0 lead on the Central Warriors as we move on to the second quarter. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. With over 400 wins and 50 tournament titles, including last year's USSSA World Series and back-to-back state titles, they are Southwest Virginia's premier travel baseball organization. They've been fielding elite travel baseball teams for the last 7 years. We'd also like to thank Morgan McClure, Chevrolet Buick Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. And that last Warriors first down, Kelly, was a Shade Tree Landscaping Warriors first down on that run.
We'll see what happens here. We're getting ready to start the second quarter with the Warriors trailing 7-0, facing a 3rd and 9 from the Gate City 44-yard line.
So the Warriors have the ball in Gate City territory. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. It's a handoff off the right-hand side. It's going to go for about 2 or 3 yards. It won't quite get to the 40-yard line before the Warriors running back is brought down. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6 here for the Warriors. Here again, a key 4th down play here by the Warriors here early in the first half.
Yeah, Gate City stacking the box. We're going to have to loosen them up a little bit. CJ on that last carry, I believe you said it was.
I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't quite catch the number.
That looked like CJ. But anyway, Warriors are going to come up here 4th and 7 from the Gate City 42.
Yeah, I have a tough time, Kelly, sometimes catching numbers. A lot of moving parts here on the Warriors offense compared to what we've seen in the last few weeks. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. He drops back the pass. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be met by a couple Gate City defenders. He breaks through of a couple of those, Kelly. So good job eluding the first few tacklers, but unfortunately for the Warriors, Ethan Mullins break free enough to get a first down. He's going to be met with a sack and a loss of 4, and that will turn the ball back over to the Blue Devils at their own 45.
Yeah, just no time right there for Ethan. He drops back, and then defenders all in his face. He tried to make something out of nothing. Unfortunately for the Central Warriors, they were not able to pick up the first down. So the ball goes back over to Gate City. Let's see if they continue to attack the left side of our defense.
Good job, like I said, by Ethan to avoid the few tackles. It could have been a loss of about 10 or 15, but he was able to make a little bit out of nothing. Gate City snaps it, but we have a whistle, and it is a timeout. It'll be a timeout on the Central Warriors. That'll be their second timeout here with 11:08 left here in the second quarter. So, Kelly, we don't do a whole lot of scouting, but we seem to kind of be hit the nail on the head most times we show up. We kind of called the Graham team as being a high-flying offense as we saw them during warm-ups. We saw the East Side game, and they were a little more air attack. We saw Den's offense. We come in here tonight, and we say expect a lot of heavy run. And so far it's been all run.
Yeah, heavy run, and when you're in a game where it's going to be heavy run, it's up to your offensive lines. And so far right now, Gate City's getting the upper hand on the Central Warriors.
Yeah, and I was thinking, if you got a game like this, kid, I'm not a football coach, but you kind of had the feeling that if it's going to be a game where it's going to be a slugfest like this, the team that can sustain a drive or the team that can break a tackle might be the team that comes out here victorious. And so far, Gate City has the long, sustained drive. Sally takes the snap. He hands it off to Reed off the right-hand side. He breaks the tackle, gets across the 50-yard line. He'll be brought down inside of Warriors territory at the 48-yard line. It'll go down as a gain of 6, make it 2nd down and 4 now for the Blue Devils.
Had him in the backfield there, but was able to break, contain, and pick up a substantial gain for Gate City. Got to be able to step up and make a tackle at the defensive end spot.
Yeah, so Gate City doing a pretty good job here on 1st down of making it a 2nd down play call. Again, pretty much expect another run regardless if it's a manageable 2nd down or a long 2nd down. Sally's under the center. Again, he's joined by Reed and Tomlinson in the backfield. The handoff is to Reed, who goes off the right-hand side. He breaks another tackle. He's got a 1st down. He crosses the Warriors' 40-yard line. He's going to be brought down at the Warriors' 37-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 11 for Reed and a Gate City 1st down.
So in the previous drive, they attacked the left side of our defensive line, or the right side of our defensive line. In this drive, they're attacking the left side of our defensive line.
Maybe they just prefer to keep it closer to their sidelines because, again, that's the far side from the booth from where Kelly and I sit. That is the Gate City sideline. The referee has signaled a timeout. It's a referee's timeout. I believe the chains have gotten a little bit tangled up over on the Gate City sideline. We've got 10 minutes and 17 seconds remaining here in the 1st half. Gate City scored a touchdown on their previous drive on a run by Logan Tomlinson. 3rd offensive possession, Gate City has gotten the ball into Warriors. They currently stand at the 37-yard line where they await a 1st down and 10 play.
As they're getting these chains sorted out, was brought to my attention, which I had totally forgotten about. Gate City's defensive coordinator, former Central Warrior head coach Darren Reed, on the visitor sideline as the defensive coordinator for the Gate City Blue Devils tonight.
So there you go, the Gate City Blue Devils with the little former Central Warriors touch over on their sideline. Again, we seem to be having a little bit of difficulty with the change right now. The head referee, Chris Davis, has signaled for both teams to go to the sideline while we await the untanglement of the chains over here. Both teams now huddled up with their respective head coaches on their sidelines. It appears they finally perhaps have it untangled. Yep. So there's the whistle for both teams to come back out onto the field. So we've seen a little bit of it all here, Kelly, when it comes to broadcasting these games.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. And like I said, about this, we are able to talk nonstop. We don't have any commercial breaks, so we have to feel there's no media timeouts for us. We just have to keep talking, much to the chagrin of a lot of our listeners, I'm sure. There's a snap to Sally. It's a pitch off to the left-hand side. It's going to be a good game by Gate City. He stays on his feet, and he is going to score, I believe, a touchdown. Yes, it is, Kelly. Give him a 37-yard run off the left-hand side. That run was to number 7. I do not have number 7's name on my roster. It's number 7, Landon Blanton for Gate City. Just a pitch off to the left-hand side. A couple Warriors had a chance. He was actually hit by his own guy at the 15-yard line and stumbled. Looked like he was going to come down. He was able to keep his balance and was never brought down, and he'll cross the end zone with a 37-yard touchdown run.
Just bad tackling by the Warriors defense there, and Gate City, nothing flashy. Just going to run the ball, and we're failing to stop the run right now.
So Levi Roten lines up for the extra point there. If Roten gets the kick up, it's a lot better attempt than his last attempt. Both of them are good, though. That one splits the uprights dead down the middle. And with that 37-yard touchdown run, Kelly, with 10 minutes remaining here in the first half, it's Gate City 14, your Central Warriors 0.
Well, this early in the football game, you never want to deem a drive as critical, but the way this Gate City offense is moving the football, this is a critical drive now for the Central Warriors.
Yeah, as we mentioned before the game, a lot on the line here for the Central Warriors. They come into this game sitting 9th in power points, getting the top 8 advance to the VHSL postseason. And the Warriors really need 2 victories if they want to secure or have a chance to secure that number 8 spot. A loss tonight would pretty much, if not completely, just end any of those chances or hopes of making it to the playoffs. And right now, trailing 14-0, the Central Warriors offense is going to have to get something going, especially on this drive, if they want to keep any shot at a postseason berth alive.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here as the Warriors get ready to receive the kickoff from Gate City. We see if they kind of go to more, get Ben Brickey involved a little bit here in this drive. Ben Brickey, the sophomore receiver who's had a really good season catching balls from whoever's back at quarterback, be it McAmus or Mullins, and we'll see if the Warriors try to go to the air a little bit this possession.
So Crabtree and Boggs back deep to receive the kick. It looks like it's going to be another short pooch kick. It actually hits an up man for the Central Warriors. Luckily, the Warriors were able to fall on it. That was a live ball that Gate City could have very easily recovered. It actually hit one of the up men in the leg and ricocheted off to his left, and another one of the up men, again, these are linemen that are typically up front, some of the bigger guys, was able to get it, and it actually looks like Gate City was able to recover it. I thought one of the other up men for Central Warriors had fallen on it, but instead Gate City has.
It looks like to me 54 for the city. Again, we got some different numbers and some different things going on here with jerseys tonight. It looked like number 54 for the Central Warriors fell on the football. Once he fell on the football, I diverted my eyes from that, looked down to the sideline, look up again, Gate City comes out with the football.
Yeah, and so, Coach Owens actually wanting an explanation of what happened there. I think he, like us, thought Central had actually recovered the football. Coach Owens actually all the way out near the left hash mark right here, barking at some of the officials, kind of wanting an explanation. He's not going to get the one he likes, as Gate City will get the ball. I guess you'll call that an onside kick recovery there by Gate City. So Gate City takes the ball. Sally takes the snap. He hands it off to Reed. Reed will be met in the backfield. It's going to be about a 2 or 3 yard loss, but we have some flags on the play. So if the play stands, it'll be a 3-yard loss. Let's see what the flag is.
It's going to be holding against Gate City, so that's going to help the Warriors defense out here starting this drive.
Yes, let's see if the Warriors will accept the 10-yard penalty on the hold, or if they'll just accept the 3-yard loss on the actual run. It looks like they will take the 10-yard penalty. That will move Gate City all the way back into their own territory. The drive started on the Warriors 44 after the fumble recovery. Now they're all the way back on their own 42-yard line. So looks like, about a loss of, I guess it's 10. First down and 20 here. We got 9 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the first half. Gate City breaks the huddle. They have 2 wide receivers out to the wide. I don't expect to see them get much action. Sally takes the snap. He hands it off to the up man. He goes up the middle. He crosses the 45, will finally be brought down at the 48-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 6 by Gate City on the first down and 22 run.
Yeah, just a little trap play there by Gate City, trying to get some of the yardage back that they lost in the penalty, and they were able to pick up about 8 there on first down.
So, again, we talked about how it's going to be a crucial drive for the Warriors trying to score a touchdown. Instead, they fumble the kickoff, and Gate City takes it. Now, a huge defensive stop needed by the Warriors to keep the Gate City Blue Devils off the scoreboard. Sally takes the snap. He hands it off to the running back. This time he'll go nowhere up the middle. About 4 Warriors meet him at the line of scrimmage. We'll give him a gain of 1, I suppose. That'll bring up a 3rd down and long here for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, good job there by the defense, firing off the foot hole and getting a stop. Now, big 3rd down coming up for this Warriors defense. Really need to get the ball back here with about 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Get something on the scoreboard.
And we've got 8 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. There's 15 seconds remaining on the play clock. Gate City breaks the huddle. It'll be Sally up under no, he won't be under. Yeah, he will be up under center. He's joined by Reed and Tomlinson in the backfield and 2 wide receivers out wide. And there is another flag thrown this time by the referee on the near sideline on the Warriors side. Would assume this might be a false start penalty.
Looks like a neutral zone infraction. I think one of Gate City's guys lined up off sides. Now, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so it's going to be a neutral zone infraction by Gate City, so move them back 5 more yards. So that'll make it now 3rd down and even longer. It'll be 3rd down and 21. Gate City has the ball now on their own 43-yard line. So you'd expect here most likely to see some type of a pass. Yeah. So Sally's back up under center. He's joined by Reed and Tomlinson in the backfield. 2 wide receivers to his right. He takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be brought down. That's a sack by number 44. Is that Logan Mullins on the sack? That is Logan Mullins on the sack. He meets Sally way back in the backfield. He's going to be brought down all the way back at the 31-yard line. So it's a 12-yard sack by Logan Mullins. That's going to make it 4th down and 33 for the Blue Devils.
And the Warriors really needed that. And the freshman Mullins gets in the backfield for the sack. Looked like Gate City was trying to set up some sort of screen pass there on 3rd and 21, but Mullins gets in the backfield, gets the quarterback on the ground. Now the Warriors going to get the football back.
Let's see if that sack maybe sparks the offense here and gives the Warriors a little bit of momentum. The punt is away at the Gate City 20. It's going to bounce at about the 38-yard line on Gate City's side, or the Warriors side. It will roll to a stop at the 26-yard line. So the Warriors will take possession here with 7 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first half at their own 26-yard line.
Would love to see Mullins kind of get out of the pocket here and use his legs on this possession. Maybe see him put the ball up a little bit here. Let's see what the Warriors offensive comes up with.
I'm not a football coach, but how about a fake jet sweep and a bootleg off to the weak side? That work?
I don't know.
I don't know. Sounded good to me.
Sounded good to you.
Sounded good to me. Let's see. You want the ball in Ethan Mullins' hands? That will keep the ball in Ethan Mullins' hands. All right, let's see what Coach Owens has. He's the one who's getting paid to do this. Us, unfortunately, we are not, but we're having fun doing it anyway.
We do.
Yeah, that's it. So Central takes over on their own 26-yard line, really needing some points here before the half concludes. Ethan Mullins up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Mullins drops back to pass. It's a completed pass. That's the number 12. That's Maddox Reynolds. He gets it out around the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 14. And there you go, Kelly. You asked for a pass play. You asked for the ball to be in Ethan Mullins' hands. And there's a gain of 14 on their first pass play of the night.
That's right, and that's what you have to do. We have to soften up this defense. It's selling out against the run. Ethan's got a good arm. He used to play baseball. He was a center fielder, so he can sling the rock around a little bit, and that's a good job there by him and Maddox connecting.
It was a good quick pass, too. Didn't have time for the defense by Gate City to meet him in the backfield. This time, Mullins takes the handoff. It's a handoff to Boggs up the middle. Looked like Mullins kind of thought maybe he was supposed to keep it, but instead Boggs takes it up the middle. It'll be a short game for the Warriors. They'll give him one. It'll bring 2nd down and 9.
Had Ethan kept that ball, he had some running room there on that play. So look for tuck that away, and they may come back to that a little bit later on. Ethan pulls that ball. He's going to get a big gain out of that.
Yeah, maybe that was more of a read option type play, and Ethan wanted to keep it, but instead Matthew Boggs was able to take it, and, again, got a gain of 1. Ethan Mullins back up under center. He's joined in the backfield by Matthew Boggs, and there is a flag now on the Gate City sideline.
Sideline warning.
Yeah, that's going to be a sideline warning on the Blue Devils. So that's just a warning. So no yardage on the play. They'll just reset. And the Warriors will re-huddle up here and maybe get another play call that they prefer on this particular set, and we'll go at it again. We got 6 minutes left in the first half. Warriors trail 14-0. They're driving with the ball on their own 41-yard line. Ethan Mullins up under center, joined by Matthew Boggs in the backfield. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. There's the read option. It's actually an option play. Fake pitch to C.J. Crabtree. Mullins elects to keep it off the right-hand side. That's the short side of the field, Kelly. They'll give him a gain of about 2. It'll make it 3rd down and 7 here for the Warriors.
Yeah, they ran that option to the boundary side, so not a lot of running room there. So 3rd and 7 now for Central from their own 43.5-yard line. Look for Mullins to maybe go to the air again.
Yeah, the Warriors would probably like to at least get some more yardage here. And right now, if they don't get this play, you're in that testy field position-wise. You probably have to punt if you don't get it here. Mullins drops back the pass. There's a pass over the middle. That's to Lester. It is complete. Lester catches it at the 42. He'll be brought down at the 40-yard line. So it's another good pitch and catch right there by the Warriors. We'll give the Warriors a gain of about 17 on the pass play, and that is escaping Warriors' 1st down.
Great job there by Ethan. Damian Lester across the middle. He hits him right in stride. I'm telling you, Chris, you loosen up this defense a little bit, and that offensive running attack will get going.
So both of the passes by the Warriors, the completed passes, have been really short, quick strikes. Ethan Mullins this time in the shotgun. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion to the left. He'll take the handoff. He's going to be met at the 40-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage. So Maddox will run from one side of the field to the other, Kelly, run a long way for a gain of nothing.
East and west there. That's the jet sweep. Gate City has done a really good job of stringing out those jet sweeps. CJ hit the first couple early in the game. So now the Warriors are faced with 2nd and 11. Chris, I think you got to go back and put the ball back in the air again.
I would agree. So far, we've seen handoffs to Boggs, to Crabtree, and to Reynolds. And outside of those first couple of runs early in the game by Crabtree, not seen a whole lot of success so far from the running game, but a couple good pass plays here by Ethan Mullins here in this quarter. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. There goes Crabtree in motion. He'll get the right. He'll break a couple of tackles and finally be brought down. It looks like he's going to get about a 3-yard gain. Again, a lot of running right there, Kelly. This time he goes all the way to the right, but it's only going to get about 3 yards out of all that running.
Yeah, we seem to be running these jet motions to the wide side of the field. Gate City's doing a good job of stringing those plays out. However, it was a good run there. CJ really didn't have anywhere to go, but was able to forge ahead to pick up about 3 or 4 yards there to make it a more manageable 3rd and 7 situation.
So Central has the ball on the Gate City 37-yard line, so we're in Gate City territory for the second time tonight. Mullins takes the snap. He drops back the pass, and he's going to be hit hard in the backfield. He's going to be hit by a couple of different guys. It's number 50 for Gate City who got to him first. That's Jace Mathis. Looked like Ethan might break that tackle, but another Gate City defender came in there and really blew it up. Ethan didn't have a whole lot of time to pass it. He's going to be dropped for a sack. That's going to be a loss back to the 46-yard line and bring up a long 4th down play here for the 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, you got to wonder if the couple of additions to the offensive line there. You got to wonder in that case where they're having a tough time picking up all these guys that are coming.
So the Warriors drop back to punt. We got a new punter here tonight from the previous weeks. It's a pretty good punt, but unfortunately for the Warriors, it's going to trickle all the way into the end zone. It's Ben Bricky now doing the punting duties here for the Warriors. Pretty good kick down the sideline, Kelly. He probably got a little bit unfortunate. It bounced out around the 10-yard line and looked like it may bounce out of bounds and pin Gate City inside the 10, but unfortunately for Bricky and the Warriors, it kind of took a left-hand turn and stayed right there on the boundary and rolls all the way through the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, Ben almost cornered them down there inside their 1-yard line. Unfortunately, it bounces into the end zone. Now Gate City, with a 2-touchdown lead, takes possession of the football with 3 minutes to go. And, Chris, I'd just be content to go to the locker room up 2 touchdowns. Let's see what Gate City does.
Yeah, Gate City has 1 timeout. The Warriors have 2 remaining. Backfield, he hands it off up the middle. He's going to be met in the backfield. So maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's Reed on the carry up the middle. It's going to go for no gain. So with the clock now rolling under 3 minutes and the Warriors with 2 timeouts, Kelly, it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10, and perhaps Coach Owens with the stop here might be thinking of calling timeout and maybe getting the ball back before the half.
Yeah, I think if you're Central, you have to at least look at that here with just a little over 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half, especially with the Warriors receiving the second half kickoff.
Yeah, if the Warriors can get a stop right here, maybe get some points on the board before the half and get that second half kickoff, get a little bit of momentum. But we need a stop right here on defense. Sally takes the snap. It's a pitch off to the left. Gate City crosses the 20. He's going to be brought down at about the 26-yard line. Tackle made that time by Logan Mullins on the Luke Reed run. It's going to be a gain of 6 and bring up a 3rd down and it's going to give him 7 yards. It's going to be a 3rd down and 3 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Coach Owens electing not to call a timeout just yet.
Yeah, I think if that play goes for no gain or a loss, you take the timeout. But now with Gate City short, you don't want to take a timeout, give them a chance to set up and get a first down.
Yeah, last thing you want to do if you're Central is call a timeout there, let Gate City get a timeout. Next thing you know, Gate City tacks on the scoreboard before the half expires. Gate City takes the snap. It's a handoff. He's going to be met in the backfield. He's going to be brought down at the 26-yard line.
Now use your timeout.
That's Logan Tomlinson on the carry. He was met by a couple of different Warriors. Looked like number 55. That's Ben Stallard was in on the tackle. And so with the loss of 1 and bringing up a 4th down and 4 situation, Coach Owens elects to call one of his 2 timeouts with 1 minute and 42 seconds left. Actually, I take it back. They just corrected the scoreboard. The scoreboard's been wrong. That was Central's last timeout. Gate City had 2 timeouts. Central had 1. So with that timeout, Central will get the ball back with about 1.5 minutes remaining here in the first half, with a chance to try to dent that scoreboard before the half expires.
Yeah, another thing this does too, this is high school football, so your special teams, the snap to the punter not given, and the punter getting the ball off is not given. We'll see what happens here on 4th down for Gate City. Looks like Looks like the Warriors are not sending anyone back to receive this kick. Could be sending everyone.
It's because Gate City
is lining up to go for it.
Yeah, Gate City is not going to punt. They got the ball on their own 27-yard line.
They have to be trying to draw them off sides.
This is definitely something here. Gate City is electing to go for it on 4th and 3 from their own 27-yard line. Lester's up under center. He's looking to his sideline, trying to get the call. Play clock is down to 7 seconds. And then we have a false start instead on Gate City. So Gate City, you were right, Kelly. Gate City comes out and tries to draw the Warriors off sides. And instead we get a false start. Not only do we get a false start penalty, Kelly, it was by the running back in the backfield, wasn't it, that jumped on the play?
It looked like 2 running backs that jumped on that play. And the official was quick to throw the flag.
Yeah. So their ice play, as you like to call it, does not work very well. And so Gate City will not march back 5 yards as they no, we have a timeout, Kelly. They're going to give Gate City a timeout instead of a false start penalty. So instead of going backwards 5 yards, it will be a 4th down and 3. So we'll have to see what Gate City elects to do when they come out after this timeout. Do they elect to try to do the same thing again? Maybe they, are they in the Warriors' head now? They think they're going to try to draw us off sides and they try to catch us with a run? Or do you do the smart thing and just punt it away?
I'm waiting until they get into form. It looks like they're going to punt it away.
Yeah, it looks like this time
I was going to cheat.
Yeah, this time they're lining up to punt. Number 35 for Gate City appears to be the punter. That is Drew Vermillion, son of head boys basketball coach Scotty Vermillion. Again, Drew Vermillion was a member of that state championship basketball team at Gate City. From what I've seen, I do follow Drew a little bit there, or at least I follow his dad on Twitter. Drew is a pretty good punter. So let's see what kind of leg he's got. There's a good snap. The punt is away by Drew. He kicked 17-yard line. That breaks a tackle. He sidesteps a few more guys, but a lot of dancing for about a 5-yard return. So Lester gets it out to the 42. So, Kelly, 58 yards away from the end zone. We got 1 minute and 31 seconds to go. There's a chance here. The Warriors probably need a big play or two on this drive, but there's a chance to at least put some points on the board before the half. Yeah,
nothing really to lose here, airing the ball out, but you want to be careful that you don't turn the football over. At least you want to try to get down. We've missed 1 field goal in the game on our first possession. That was a 27-yard attempt by Rogers. But you want to try to at least get into his field goal range to give yourself a chance to score some points here before the half. Again, the Warriors will receive the second half kickoff.
And again, that field goal, you hope it doesn't come up, big later on. But, again, at 14-3 game, you could settle for a field goal here and cut it to 14-6, and you'd be within 1 score. But instead, the Warriors are currently down 2 scores, showing 14-0. So really need a touchdown here. There's a screen pass from Mullins to the right side. It's going to ink was intended for number 9. That's Josh Price. Off the right-hand side. First time I think we've caught his name just about all season as far as a wide receiver for the Warriors.
Right, and that play looked a little bit off from the beginning. Maybe Ethan didn't get a good grip on that ball, kind of floated on him. Still hit Josh in the hands. He wasn't able to come up with it. And that's a tough play for the receiver too, because you can feel those corners and defensive backs bearing down on you.
Yeah, Price is probably going to break a tackle or two to really get much out of it. And again, for the Warriors, if he's brought down inbounds, the clock would continue to run. Again, the Warriors have no timeouts here with 1:27 remaining in the first half. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers, 3 to his right. It's a fake screen this time to Price. But Ethan won't have a whole lot of time to throw it. Instead, he's going to break free. He crosses the 45, crosses the 50. He's across the 40. He breaks a few tackles, Kelly. He gets it all the way across the 35-yard line. And you've got to give Ethan Mullins all the credit on that one. He broke the sack, broke about 2 tackles in the backfield. Looked like he was able to outrun a few Gate City defenders down the Gate City side. A heck of a run right there by Ethan Mullins.
Great play. This kid can play football. I mean, I've watched him play since he was little. He's always had that breakaway speed. He just showed it there and sets the Central Warriors up good here in Gate City territory.
So it looks like it's going to be a 25-yard carry there by Ethan Mullins. Warriors now have the ball at the Gate City 33. There's the snap. Ethan rolls out to his right. He looks to throw. He does throw it to a sliding receiver. Unfortunately, the ball hits the receiver in the chest and will fall incomplete. That pass was intended for number 4, Ben Bricky.
Yeah, 1:11 to go here in the first half now. 2nd and long for the Warriors. But again, ball on the 33. So, to get in Rogers' field goal range, they're going to have to pick up at least 16 more yards.
Yeah, but they got 1:11 now. Again, the Warriors the Warriors took over with I think like 1:31. So they only cut about 20 seconds on this drive so far. What really helped was on that big play by Ethan Mullins down the sideline. He was forced out of bounds, which allowed the clock to stop for the Warriors. So 1:11 to go. The Warriors have the ball on the 33-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Ethan rolls out to his right again. He's going to throw it deep, this time to Lester. Unfortunately, the pass is about 5 yards too far. It sails over Lester's head and out of bounds. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 with 1:05 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, it looked like there initially that might have developed into something, but then it kind of looked like Ethan was just trying to throw that ball away and live to play another down.
So 3rd down and 10. Again, so far the Warriors kind of running a rollout play. Again, Mullins not getting a whole lot of time to sit back in the pocket and throw. So Coach Owens electing to get him out on a few bootleg plays or some rollouts to try to get some type of offense here through the air for the Warriors. Ethan Mullins in the backfield again in the shotgun. He's joined by 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Mullins takes the snap, again rolls out to his right. It's a screen pass back to Crabtree. I say it's Matthew Boggs on the left. Boggs will get it back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be marked down at about the 2-yard line, or I'm sorry, he'll get about a 2-yard gain. So Mullins chose right, and this time threw it back to Boggs. Unfortunately for the Warriors, Boggs did not find a whole lot of running room, and with the clock still running now under 40 seconds, the Warriors now have a 4th down and long from the 33-yard line.
Yeah, the Warriors go into a huddle here. They don't want to leave too much time on the clock in case this play is unsuccessful.
If the Warriors can somehow pick up a 1st down and get the clock to stop, they could probably down it and try to set up a one last play or a field goal effort. Mullins takes the snap with 22 seconds. He drops back the pass. He throws it up to Ben Brickey.
Oh, what a catch! Oh, no,
could not come up with the catch. Brickey went up high. He got both hands on it, but on his way down, the ball came loose and fell incomplete. And Brickey still lays down on the turf here at Warriors Stadium. You hope that the way he landed is nothing more than maybe just the breath knocked out of him. And he came down pretty hard on his side or on his back right there. You can't speculate anything from where we are, but the way he came down, the best case scenario there, it would be just a wind issue. And kind of the way the Warriors, the trainers and coaches are looking at him, maybe as you can see Brickey just sort of, wiggling in pain there on the ground, which a lot of times indicates it's just a loss of breath type thing. We can see him moving his arms and his legs. None of the training staff, the coaches are really looking at any particular body part. But again, we won't really speculate at this time.
Yeah, Ben went up on that play to high point the ball. He's now up on his feet. Looks like limping a little bit, maybe getting helped off there by one of the Warrior assistant coaches. Ben went up to high point the ball, got both hands on it. Unfortunately, when he hit the ground, the ball squirted out. And so Gate City will now take over possession of the football, 1st and 10, ahead 14-0 with 17 seconds to go here in the first half.
And Gate City does have one timeout. Again, there's only 17 seconds. They'll have the ball on their own 33-yard line based on the fact that Gate City has pretty much done nothing but run the ball tonight. You'd expect them to either take a knee right here in one play to see if they can break a tackle, break a long run. Again, with that one timeout, they do have the luxury if they could stop the clock if they do break that run. They are lined up in what appears to be like they're going to run a play, so maybe Gate City is going to try for one last shot here before the half expires. Sally is in the shotgun. Again, Sally, the quarterback here for Gate City, in the shotgun, joined by 4 wide receivers, 3 to his left. Sally drops back to pass. He is going to throw it up deep. He's got a man down there. Unfortunately, it's a little overthrown. Pretty good defense that time by the Warriors defense. I believe that's number 10, Ethan Mullins, actually on the coverage, and it is. So good coverage by Ethan Mullins there on the deep pass. Had it been successful, Gate City would have gotten the ball down to about the Warriors' 30, but luckily for Central, it falls incomplete. So Gate City will now have a 2nd down and 10 with 11.4 seconds. So that play took just over 5 seconds to execute.
Yeah, Ethan got up after that play looking a little gimpy, walking up the right sideline there. Now, this may sound kind of bad, Chris, but if I'm off in the corner limping, go try to attack him again.
So the other team's quarterback. Right. Gate City comes back out in a very similar formation. Again, 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Last time they chose to go to that one on the right. Sally pump fakes. He's going to be forced out of the pocket, and he's going to throw it incomplete. There's no one in the area, and there's a flag by the official. I don't know if high school has the same outside the pocket rules. He was outside the pocket.
Get back to the line of scrimmage.
The line of scrimmage was the 33. The ball went out of bounds at about the 40, so I believe it did get back to the line of scrimmage. But there was no receiver within 20 yards of that pass attempt by Sally, so the official throws the flag on the play. Still awaiting official word from the head official, who now walks over here to the sideline to give us the call. And it will be intentional grounding is the call. So I'm thinking maybe in high school we don't have the same outside of the pocket penalty as we see on Sundays. So it's going to be a loss of about 8 on the intentional day. A loss is going to bring up a with just over 6 seconds remaining. Again, Central has no timeouts. So at this point, I would expect Gate City just to kind of play it simple and play it safe, not wanting to give Central any chance at all to get possession of the ball here before the half expires. Gate City breaks the huddle, and it does appear what they're going to do. They have one man about 15 yards deep in the backfield in case there is a fumble. Sally is up under center. This will be the old victory celebration play. The snap is good. Sally takes a knee, and the first half clock runs down to 2, down to 1, and there's the horn signaling the end of the first half. So that's the end of a half of play, Kelly, and Gate City gets on the board with 2 running touchdowns and lead the Central Warriors 14-0.
Yeah, Gate City, they had two drives there in the first half where they really controlled the line of scrimmage, wound up punching both of those drives in for touchdowns, and have a 14-0 lead. Central, again, with 20 is not able to cash anything in, and they go to the half, the goose egg on the board, but they will get the ball to start the second half.
We've seen some, the Warriors have driven the ball down the field a couple of times. They got the ball down inside the red zone one time, elected for a field goal attempt that was missed wide right. And then, that last possession, they're getting the ball down, but unfortunately for the Warriors, the offense just seems to stall out. And we've seen that at a variety of times so far this season. Again, just to recap what we've seen so far in the first half, Gate City took the opening kickoff, drove it down the field, but was unable to do anything with it after that. The Warriors' defense held and kept Gate City out of the end zone. Central got the ball back, and on their opening possession was able to drive it down the field. And as I just mentioned, got the ball all the way down to about the 9-yard line, attempted a field goal by Peyton Rogers that was missed wide right, giving Gate City the ball back. On Gate City's second drive, they found a little bit more success. They started on their own 17-yard line, and then 83 yards later, they punched it in, a Logan Tomlinson touchdown run, gave 6-0 lead. After a few penalties offset some things there on the extra point, Gate City chose to kick the extra point, and the extra point was good, giving Gate City a 7-0 lead. The Warriors got the ball back, and on their next possession, again, they were unable to do much with it. And, again, no points on the board, and Gate City got the ball back. When Gate City got the ball back, that was when the big play happened, Kelly. I've been mentioning long drives or big plays could be what signals the winner of this game. Gate City had a long 83-yard drive that scored a touchdown, and then the very next possession, they broke a 37-yard run by Landon Blanton. He broke a few tackles, actually broke a tackle from his own guy. Stumbled around the 15-yard line, but was able to keep his balance and punched it in for a touchdown. That gave Gate City a 13-0 lead. The extra point by Levi Roten made it 14-0. Central would get the ball back a couple of times, were unsuccessful in scoring a touchdown. Back, they too were unsuccessful in scoring a touchdown, and that's where we are here at the end of the first half. Gate City has 2 touchdowns on the ground and lead this game 14-0. I'm looking over at you guys, and I believe you're somewhat impressed by my ability to recap a game. Just so you are clear at home, if you are a listener at home, I gave you a recap with no notes. That was all from the top of my head. But you're not here, so you wouldn't know if I'm right or not.
We're not gonna We're not gonna play along with that. We're gonna say you cheated. You got those notes wrote down there somewhere. I don't know where, but they're here somewhere.
All I know is
Peanut's over here bowing down.
Yeah, Peanut's impressed.
I'm gonna have to leave the booth.
Yeah, all I know is we're getting close to Halloween. I keep looking down here, and you all are passing out trick or treat candy over here to my right.
All I know is I've ate about 10 candy bars.
We've got
in the first half.
We've got the fun size candy bars up here in the booth.
It's been a lot of fun in the first half.
Yeah, it's fun size for Gate City, I suppose. So far with the Warriors, not too much fun to comment on. But again, Peanut up here with his and his pictures. So Kelly's had about 8 of those, which equals one full size candy bar up here in the booth. Nobody will give me one because I can't really talk with a mouthful of chocolate.
That's it.
But again, they're over here just snacking.
We're having a good time.
They're snacking it up.
We're warm here at Central High School on a cold night in October, and we're eating our mini-size candy bars.
All right. So here we go. Here we go, Kelly. All right, here we go. All right. Last time we brought you a broadcast, it was all about homecoming. Homecoming proposals, homecoming, all the festivities that go in, and how we're now old, begrudged old men who just don't get it. So here's something we can all relate to. Halloween is next week. Actually, it's a week from yesterday. We're approaching Halloween. So let's start with this. Favorite Halloween candy?
Mine has to be Skittles.
Skittles. You are a Skittles guy. Again, I coach a lot of sports with you, and you are always eating Skittles.
I'm like the Marshawn Lynch of coaching.
Yeah.
So I eat Skittles.
And speaking on that topic, it just occurred to me, the Central basketball team, you and I were both involved with coaching the Central basketball team, and we had a pretty good run at one point last year. And, I don't want to give Coach McAmis any credit. I'm not going to give the players credit. What allowed that run by the Central Warriors was the fact that before every game that was played, Coach Kelly and I ate a bag of Skittles.
And we gotta throw Coach Neese in there too. Stevie Neese.
Coach Neese was also involved in eating those Skittles.
It was a 3-bag Skittles from the concession area.
Yep.
And we ate those Skittles, and the team did their part, but we were the real MVPs.
Yep. So you were going with Skittles. I've got to go with full-size candy bars. Okay. If you get a full-size candy bar, that is the jackpot of trick-or-treating candy. You've got to find the house that gives you the full-size candy bar. And on this same topic, I got to mention, I need to give a quick shout-out to some of our viewers or some of our listeners. Brian Sturgill, our PE teacher over at JW Adams, one of our co-workers, he's at home listening right now. He just chimed in. Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls.
I like to see Brian Sturgill do the Tootsie Roll.
I'm going to say this. If Sturgill was in attendance to the candy that Peanut and I have over here, would already be gone.
Not only would it be gone, but there would probably be some chocolate smeared on his shirt for later.
Somewhere on
him, there would be some chocolate smeared on his shirt, unknowingly at first. It would be some melted, drizzled chocolate that he discovers 5 minutes later after it's already been smeared.
Maybe that's it. That's exactly right.
So we've gone full-size candy bar. We've gone Skittles. I'm gonna call Peanut as a candy corn type of guy. No, not a candy corn. Reese's. Reese Cups.
Solid.
Reese Cups. Reese Cups.
Solid.
I'm going to assume you're not picky if you get the double pack or the single pack, right? As long as it's a Reese Cup. He is a Reese Cup. I'm not a peanut butter fan, so I can't quite go with the Reese Cup. All right, so let's switch gears. Worst Halloween candy.
Oh man, I don't know.
Kind
of like licorice of some kind.
I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of the brown and orange single wrapped candies. I don't even know what's in those. You get those. It's just a wrapped up piece of candy in an orange wrapper. I have no clue. I don't know if it's chocolate or if it's peanut butter. It just does not look very appealing. Is it Mary Jane's? Is that what they're called? Okay, Mary. I always thought Mary Jane's was something else, but we'll go with your expertise on that, Peanut. So Mary Jane. Now I'm a Twizzler guy. I like Twizzlers. If somebody gives me those packs of Twizzlers, I like Twizzlers.
Yeah, I'm not big on that.
What about if you get
some sour straws? Those are okay.
What if you get the apple or a bag of popcorn?
You don't eat the apple. Everybody knows you don't eat the apple because the old story was somebody could put a needle in there.
Do kids still go get their bag of candy X-rayed? Can you still go get it X-rayed?
I don't think anybody goes. I remember being a bag of candy X-rayed.
I remember being a kid and going to the ER, and they would X-ray your candy to make sure there was nothing in it. That way there was no needles or whatever.
I've never been to the ER.
One time I went. I remember being a kid, and I took my bag of candy to the hospital to make sure no one had stuck. Evan, you got to chime in. Best Halloween candy, Evan. Laffy Taffy. That's a good
solid.
Laffy Taffy. Worst Halloween candy. Candy corn.
No way, man.
Candy
I'll fight
corn.
you over candy corn.
That is
As a matter of fact, my loving wife, who I promised I would shout out to, hello, Amber, babe, and my daughter, Jaden, who I lovingly refer to as JoJo, is at home. And they have some candy corn there at the house, and I am going to go home and I am going to partake in some candy corn.
Here, do you know why it's called candy corn?
I don't know.
Did you know if you stack those pieces of corn up, it makes it look like a corn on the cob?
Really?
There are corn kernels that if you stack them up, you can actually make them look like corn on the cob. Plus, they look like corn kernels.
I have learned something.
I can't tell you the last time I've had candy corn, to be honest with you, but
yeah, it's pretty good.
I think I've eaten it some. It's hard to say it's the worst because it's a Halloween candy. You know, you don't see it any other time throughout the year.
They serve candy corn throughout the year. You can
get
it.
Nobody buys it. Nobody buys it. You get you go when it's after Halloween when they sell it for 15 cents a bag.
Cut it off. I'm not going to the ER to get an X-ray. I can tell you that.
You don't have to. You gotta get your apples and your popcorn X-ray. But yeah, I guess that's not a thing anymore.
Could you imagine being a kid showing up at somebody's house and they hand them a bag of popcorn? Who is standing at the microwave with the popcorn ready, throwing it in the microwave as the kids?
Yeah.
Honey, we got 3 more.
maybe they ran out of candy, so they bought bags of popcorn.
Everybody knows.
Go get the Ziploc bags. Put some in a Ziploc bag.
Everybody knows when you run out of candy, you got to cut the lights off.
You turn the lights off and hide. Nobody's home. Don't come in here anymore. Nobody's home. I just go cheap. I just leave my house and nobody's there. I don't have to buy any candy. And then I eat my kids' candy.
All right, so we gotta go to the Twitter for this. Okay.
Oh, we got Twitter response.
We need Twitter responses on this.
Twitter or comment to us. Let's see. Again, Brian Sturgill's chiming in here. He's all about it. His candy is Necco wafers. I know what those are. They're like little wafers of. It's almost like eating chalk.
Okay.
It's like a cut up piece of chalk.
All
like
right.
they cut it up into slices. So his vote is the worst candy is Necco wafer. Here's a good one. Nerds.
As the worst?
No,
as
I'm assuming it's the best. You can't say nerds are the worst.
Oh no, nerds are good. Nerds are good. But
yeah.
What would nerds ropes are big now?
Yeah,
I'm not a real fan of those. I would rather have them in the small boxes where I can just partake of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm partial to the nerds. I know my wife. She's probably not at home listening right now, but yes, she is, Evan. But she's a big fan of nerds. She likes to get nerds and eat them, but it's not a Halloween candy. But again, that's always a popular one. I'm a fan of the nerds. So for me, I'm full size candy bar as the favorite, and anything that has to be X-rayed as the worst.
Never heard of that. Go to the ER on Halloween to get your candy X-rayed.
It used to be a thing. I
missed out on that.
Yeah, you did. Experience in itself.
I'm so sorry. I missed
that. You get done with trick or treating, you wear your costume
let's
to
take it to the
hospital,
ER, honey.
and you have it X-rayed. I had no honey back then. I was just a kid. All right, we've gone off the deep end again. But again, hey, maybe people are just tuning in for halftime. No, I don't think nobody's leaving for halftime now. Again, give Kelly or I a text. Holler at us on Twitter. I'm Coach Wilson17. He's Coach K Foster on Twitter. If you have a favorite or worst Halloween candy, let us know what it is, and we'll give you a shout out on the air. It doesn't matter if it's even in the second half. That'll give us something to talk about during some downtime. So give us a shout out with Halloween candy or anything Halloween. Maybe you got a favorite movie. If we had a little more time, we could probably dive into movies and things like that. But we've only got 4 minutes left here and a half, and we probably need to kind of run down some sponsors. But all kinds of topics we can have here on Halloween. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. With over 400 wins and 50 tournament titles, including last year's USSSA back-to-back state titles, they are Southwest Virginia's premier travel baseball organization. They've been fielding elite travel teams for the last 7 years. We'd also like to give thanks to Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick and Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. If you'd like to become a sponsor here for Warriors Sports, give us an email at warriornationblog@gmail.com. Again, that's warriornationblog, exactly as that would be spelled, at gmail.com. Or give us a contact on Twitter at Warrior Nation Blog on Twitter. That's Warrior NATN blog on Twitter, or Sturgill S Media on Twitter. Again, we need sponsors. There's a home game next week against Grundy. We do need a sponsor for that contest. If you become a sponsor, you are a sponsor for the year. We do plan on bringing you some basketball and some baseball action in the winter and in the spring. So anyone who sponsors that game next week, you will remain on as a sponsor throughout of our seasons here at Central High School. Again, reach out to Evan Sturgill at Sturgill S Media, at Warrior Nation Blog on Twitter, or Warrior Nation Blog at gmail.com.
Can I say something on that real quick, Chris?
Yes, go ahead.
I think it's real important for people to kind of latch on to this and become a part and help sponsor these games. A lot of people in the community who are not able to come to these games are able to listen to them when we're able to bring them to them. And hopefully they can get a sense of what's going on at the game. I think it's very important. Also very important for the players. They have something that they can go back to and that they can listen to. And then I've had several come up to me during the course of this football season and say, hey, thanks for doing that. I went home after the game and I listened to the whole thing. So it's important to the kids. It's important to the people in the community. So we need some sponsors to step up and to get behind our school, give our school a sense of identity, show some support, and so we can bring these games to you in football and basketball and in softball and baseball, all those types of sporting events we would like to be able to cover, but we can't do it without your help.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that you don't forget too, if you want to be a sponsor, is not only this broadcast is being aired right now live, and people hear the mentioning of your sponsorship, but this remains on Twitter, or I'm sorry, on YouTube. Anybody can go back later on and listen to these games on YouTube. I've gone back and listened to, I can just recall just last week, going back and listening to the first baseball broadcast that we made there. I think it was actually Central versus Gate City, the old late umpire game, as it's come to be known in the here in the radio booth. But I've gone back and listened to that. And any of these athletes can go back and listen. Not only can they go back and listen to how the game played out, but they'll be able to go back and listen to your sponsorship. That sponsorship stays on YouTube and stays on this broadcast, like I said, forever. And, we had this conversation, I guess, back during the last basketball season. It's going to be kind of funny when we go back here about 20 years still out there, and we're able to go back and listen to how ridiculous it was that we were talking about Halloween candy here right before Halloween. Yeah,
but it's cool. It's cool for the kids. I mean, it's fun for me and you, but it's really cool for the kids. Once they graduate, they'll be able to go back and access these games online and be able to listen to them. And we talk a lot about back when we were younger, but back when we were younger, games were videotaped and shown later in the week, and we were able to record those things and have those. They were shown on our local television stations, and so those were really valuable commodities to have. And so this is along those lines for our guys, our players, and our coaches and our fans. And so, just think about becoming a part of this and think about becoming a sponsor. It's critical. Evan does a great job. I mean, this is Evan's, this was Evan's idea to get these games out to people. I think it's a phenomenal idea. When I first heard about it, I immediately contacted him and said, man, this is great. Notoriety to the players, it brings notoriety to the school, it brings notoriety to the communities. It's just a good thing. So think about becoming a sponsor.
Yeah, and we talked about it too. It's a great thing for them, and this is something I've dreamed about being able to do. My whole life. Anybody who's grown up, watching sports, playing sports. Even if you sit at home, you're doing some type of play-by-play, or you're talking about the game. You're pretending you're in this position, and as we say, we're by no means professionals. I feel like we do a better job than the professionals do, just because, here we are. We went on the air at about 6:45, and we are now over an hour and a half into this contest, and we haven't stopped talking. There are no media timeouts for us. There's been no media breaks. We have not paused. We have not stepped away one time. Yes, you may have to endure some Halloween candy talk, but you know what? It's better than dead air, I suppose.
Looks like both teams are warming up and 40 seconds to go or left in the half. The officials have taken the field as well, as head referee Chris Davis is making his way up the Central Warrior sideline, has stopped and now has begun talking to Emma Kate McAmus, maybe telling her about the coin toss.
Yeah, the 5-yard coin toss. Yeah, we're down to about a minute left. Hey, I'm getting some responses, Kelly. All right. Some people are chiming in on best and worst Halloween candy. Some of them haven't specified if it's best or worst. I've gotten Reese cups, so some people over on Peanut's page. Candy corn and now and laters. I don't know if that's best or worst. I'm going to have to assume candy corn's on the worst end.
No way.
How about this one?
This is a good one.
Wax lips. Wax lips.
Wax lips.
There is a blast from the
past. Do
they
still make those?
I don't know. Wax lips. Wax lips and candy cigarettes.
Oh, no.
I like candy cigarettes.
Okay.
But you can't get those anymore.
No.
I think you can. You can't. I think they're called candy. They're called candy sticks.
Oh, okay.
But you remember the candy cigarettes they used to have on it that made it look like it was lit.
I remember that.
And it's kind of like
wax lips.
Kind of like those Mary Jane's candies that peanut. Oh, we're just got pulled off the air.
All right.
So how about this? Worst candy, black licorice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that black. Now red licorice, I like. Black licorice, no way.
Definitely.
How about this? The house that gave you pennies. That's old school there. That's back in my X-ray in your food days, I guess.
Give you pennies.
So yeah, candy corn, black licorice on the work. Here's a good one. Bazooka gum. Right. What about the bazooka gum that had the comic strips that were attached to it that were wrapped around? You got the Bazooka Joe. All those old
somebody chiming in fruit.
Yeah, you had to get the fruit X-rayed. You had to take it to the ER. You couldn't eat the fruit if it had a needle or something.
The big
deadly
orange.
So fruit, fruit. What about walnuts? The peanuts. Did you ever get walnuts? I did. All right. Maybe y'all didn't go trick or treating in the places I went.
Charlie Brown got a rock.
Here we go. The homemade grandma popcorn ball.
I've heard of that.
There we go. The popcorn ball, not the popcorn in a Ziploc bag. The popcorn ball. And at this time, I think I need to give Coach Sturgill another shout out over at Pound. I just made him hungry. He just made a trip to the cupboard. He's probably eating a can of Pringles and maybe even a half a gallon of Neapolitan ice cream. If that's the case, Coach Sturgill, give us another shout out. Let us know what you are snacking on right now, Coach Sturgill, while you listen to this broadcast. All right, so we are ready finally for the second half. Both teams have taken the field. It was a little lengthy second. They added a little bit of time on the clock there at one point. But Gate City is teeing the ball up. Again, that's Levi Roten, number 2, the Gate City kicker, about to kick it off to the Central Warriors. Again, it's Matthew Boggs and C.J. Crabtree set back deep to return. I'm getting all kinds of texts here.
Yeah, I'm getting one, too. Circus peanuts.
Bottle caps. Okay. Old bottle caps candy. We'll continue on with that. Hopefully, it will bring the Warriors some success. Roten, this one's going to travel straight out of bounds. He kicks a 33-yard line, no Warrior anywhere near, and it travels straight out of bounds. That'll be an illegal procedure penalty here by Gate City on the opening kickoff. So here to start the second half off, the Central Warriors will start with very good field position, really needing some points up on the board to get back in this football game.
That's the third time that Gate City's kicked off tonight, the third time that they've tried that kind of kick. And so the ball goes out of bounds. Central's going to take over with pretty good field position coming out.
All right, so Central breaks the huddle, and I've been informed it's butter pecan ice cream for Brian Sturgill.
Oh, nice. Right. Good choice.
And I have also been confirmed that they are called Mary Jane's.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. We've cleared up the weird.
Warriors need a good drive here to start second.
All right, Ethan Mullins goes back under center. He's joined in the backfield by Matthew Boggs. C.J. Crabtree goes into motion. There's a handoff. It's actually Matthew Boggs up the middle. Had me confused. Matthew Boggs crosses the 50-yard line. He's going to be brought down right at the 45-yard line. So just like at, Matthew Boggs breaks off a 17-yard good disguised run right there. Again, Matthew Boggs actually running the sweep again. Matthew Boggs had it up the middle on a good 17-yard run to start the half.
Yeah, Matthew got bottled up a lot in the first half, comes out with a big 17-yard run to start here the second half. The Warriors are in business.
So Ethan Mullins comes out again. He's got Matthew Boggs in the backfield. C.J. Crabtree again goes in motion. It's another run to Boggs. Looks like the same play yet again by the Warriors. This time not quite as successful on the carry. Looks like he'll get about 2 yards, bringing up a 2nd down and 8 for the Warriors at the Gate City 43-yard line.
Yeah, exact same play that started the half. Boggs was able to pick up. They're going to give him about 3 right there. And so second and manageable here for the Warriors. Really need a touchdown to start the second half.
Again, the Warriors come out in the same type of formation. Again, here they got 2 wing backs on the side. Ethan Mullins up under center. Again, C.J. Crabtree in motion. This time he will get the ball, running it off to his right. He's going to cross the Gate City 40-yard line, be brought down just across the 39-yard line. That's going to make it a 3rd down and a 4 yards here for Central. So a good drive. The Central Warriors offense can keep this going, not bogged down like they have on the other drives.
Now, the difference here then in the first half is CJ's looking to cut this up. Looks like, in the first half he was getting strung out to the sideline. Second half, starting out, cutting the ball up, getting some positive yards.
Ethan Mullins goes up under center. He's joined by 2 wing backs and Matthew Boggs. This time this Reynolds in motion. They fake it to Reynolds. They give it to Boggs up the middle. It's another good run by Matthew Boggs. He'll have enough for the 1st down. He's across the 35. They'll mark him down at the 33-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 6. And as I said, that's a 1st down and a Shade Tree Landscaping Warriors 1st down.
Looks like the Warriors went in at halftime and said, we're going to come out and we're just going to try to jam it right down your throat. And that's exactly what they're doing here to start the second half. These carries that Boggs is making is a little more off tackle than it is up behind the center the way they were in the first half.
Again, the Warriors are keeping those guys in motion off the wing side. This time it's Maddox Reynolds in motion. He'll get the ball to his left. And instead of stringing it out farther to the left, he'll break it back up the middle. You just said, Kelly, a pretty good run by keeping it up the middle. He'll cross the 30-yard line. He's going to be brought down at about the 28-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of about 6, or they're going to call it 5, make it 2nd down and 5 for the Warriors.
Yeah, what's happening here is the Gate City linebackers are trying to string out the Jets to the right and the left, and they're getting out of position. Our running backs are seeing that and cut the ball up.
So here come the Warriors again, the 2 wing backs off to the side. Matthew Boggs in the back. So this time 2 Warriors go in motion, some confusing on the snap. There is a flag. They actually let the play out, but it's going to be a false start penalty right there, or maybe a illegal formation or some type of penalty, legal shift by the Warriors, as that time Reynolds and Crabtree both went into motion at the same time. And that you can't do that. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, so we'll make it 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that's a killer. You come out in the second half, you're getting positive yardage on 1st down, getting big chunks, and then you go and you get a penalty like that, push you back in 2nd and long.
What the Warriors doing, they've got C.J. Crabtree lined out as the left at the wing backs, the left wing, and then Maddox Reynolds is to the right. And then Matthew Boggs is in the backfield. And typically either Reynolds or Crabtree, one is going into motion. Up under center again. This time Crabtree goes in motion. They're going to hand it off to Boggs again in the backfield. He runs up the middle. He breaks a tackle. He's across the 20. He's across the 15. He's going to be brought down at the 12-yard line. It's going to be a 21-yard gain by Matthew Boggs. Most of those came after contact. He was hit up the middle after about 5 yards, made a good spin move, and was able to tack on about 15 to 16 more yards. So the Warriors are now inside the red zone. They'll have a 1st down and 10 from the Gate City 11-yard line with 9:17 left in the 3rd quarter.
Let's see if the Warriors can punch it in here and crawl back within 1 score.
So Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes into motion. It's back to Boggs up the middle. He's not going to find a whole lot of running room this time. He's going to get it to the 10-yard line, so we'll give him a gain of 1, make it 2nd down and 9. And again, Kelly, we've seen this a lot throughout the year. The Warriors are able to get it down inside the 10s, but once you get down inside the 10, sometimes have a tough time getting those last 10 yards.
Yeah, hopefully with Boggs being able to exploit some of this off the power running attack, it's going to open up some holes outside for CJ and Maddox.
So 2nd down and 9 for the Warriors, 8:35 remaining. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree in motion. He takes the handoff. He's being strung out to the right. He crosses the 10. He's across the 5. He is met at the 1-yard line. They're going to mark him out inside the 1-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down, Kelly, and it's going to be a first down and goal from inside the 1, so the Warriors are in business here on this drive.
And that's exactly what happens. Those linebackers have to honor Matthew Boggs. And now that they're honoring Matthew, CJ gets the big run around the corner. It's first and about a foot. I would expect Ethan under center and Mullins, the quarterback, sneak into the end zone to draw us within 1 score.
So either a sneak or maybe just another handoff to Boggs, who's done a lot of the work load here on this drive. Mullins goes under center. It's Reynolds in motion. The handoff does go to Boggs up the middle. He's going to cross the end zone. He only needed about a half a yard. He crosses the end zone, and that is a touchdown for Matthew Boggs. So with 8 minutes and 11 series cut into the lead, it's now 14, Central Warriors 6 with the point after attempt still pending.
We have a ball game here, Chris.
So Peyton Rogers comes out. The holder will be at about the 10-yard line, so to attempt the 20-yard extra point. Peyton Rogers gets loose out here. Again, a kind of a pivotal extra point here at this point in the game. It's just a close contest. It is a low snap, and it's bobbled snap. Lester has to pick it up. He rolls to his left. He sees nothing left. He breaks a few tackles. He's to the 5. He throws it wide open in the end zone. It is a 2-point conversion. Absolutely outstanding job by Damon Lester. He throws a 2-point conversion. I believe that is Tyson Tester on the receiving end. Lester broke about 4 tackles. Again, the snap was low. It was a bobble snap. Lester scrambled and was able to break, I don't know, a handful of tackles, split through, rolled out to the 5-yard line. Looked like he might be able to run it in himself. Saw 2 open receivers in the end zone, tossed it up to Tester, and it's an easy 2-point conversion.
Just a great Damon Lester right there. Man, the Warriors need that or what? Now, instead of 14-6 or 14-7, we're now 14-8. The defense getting ready to come back on the field. You got to think of all the momentum now in Central's favor. We get a stop right here, get the ball back. Good things happening tonight for the Central Warriors. So great drive capped off by Matthew Boggs, 1-yard touchdown run. The score has been knotted a little bit closer.
Yep.
City 14, Central 8.
Something to keep in mind, though, as we play, Kelly. It's twice the Warriors have tried to kick either a field goal or an extra point. Both times the snap has not been, the best of snaps. So something to maybe keep an eye on as this game plays out. Again, good news for the Warriors. They've trimmed that lead from 14 down to 6. And with 8 minutes and 11 seconds here in the third quarter, we have ourselves a ball game. KC lines up to receive the kick from Peyton Rogers. Here's the kick from the 40. It's going to be another short, high pooch kick. It lands at the 30, and Gate City actually touches the ball. It would have gone out of bounds for an illegal procedure, just like last kickoff. But fortunately for the Warriors, the Gate City receiver touched it, and then it went out of bounds. So instead of a penalty, Gate City will take possession at their own 28-yard line here for their first possession here in the second half.
Very obvious the adjustments that the Warrior offense made at halftime. Now let's see the adjustments that the Warriors defense made at halftime.
So again, 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Again, Gate City pretty much ran the ball the whole entire first half. That was good enough for 2 touchdowns. Let's see what adjustments they make, and let's see what adjustments the Warriors defense have made here in the second half. Again, John Sally is up under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off to the right. It's a run up the middle. A host of Warriors meet the Gate City running back just across the 30-yard line. It's going to go for about a gain of 3, bringing up second down and a 7. That run was by number 20, Logan Tomlinson.
And a score of interest that I would like to pass along. As we talked earlier in the game, Marion is ahead of the Warriors in the VHSL PowerPoint rankings right now. Marion Central sitting at the half. Marion 14-0. So this game takes on even more importance for the Central Warriors.
Again, Central needs a win tonight in order to stay in that playoff race. Sally takes the handoff. It looked like it was supposed to be maybe a read option and some confusion over who should keep the ball. I couldn't tell if Sally hung on to it or Tomlinson, but they'll, again, cross the 30-yard line. They'll be brought down at the 32-yard line. So just moments after Central scores their first touchdown to trim into the lead, 2 plays by Gate City and only 3 yards brings up a 3rd down and 7 here for the Warriors defense, who need a stop to get back into this game, maybe tied up on the next possession.
Critical down here for the Warrior defense. All the momentum in Central's favor to begin this second half. It'd be great to get off the field here on 3rd and 7.
So 3rd down and 7, just under 7 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. John Sally goes up under center. He hands it off. No, he actually keeps it himself. He's across the 40. He's across the 35-yard line. Gets it to the 41, and Kelly, looked like if he maybe had kept it upfield, he may have been able to pick up the down the side step and dance it out to his left. That's going to 1st down. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 2. Gate City on their own 36-yard line, needing to get to the 38 for a 1st down.
Yeah, great open field tackle there by C.J. Crabtree to prevent Gate City from picking up that 1st down. Now, Gate City sitting on their punt team, and Drew Vermillion.
And Drew Vermillion back about 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage, set to punt this ball away. He's made 2 punts so far here in this contest. Again, here comes the snap by Gate City. It's a good snap. Vermillion takes it. A good high punt. Lester back to receive. He's going to let it bounce.
Get out of the way.
Then it bounces at the 30. It's going to trickle down inside the 25, actually inside the 20. It will finally be touched down by Gate City at the 19-yard line. So a pretty good punt right there by Vermillion. Again, they had the ball at their own 36, and the punt goes all the way down to the Warriors' 19-yard line. So about a 40-some-yard punt right there. But now the Warriors are going to have some work to do if they're going to tie this game up with a touchdown here on this possession.
Yeah, Boggs was the worst drive. Look for them to come right back to him to start this drive. The Warriors take possession of the football, looking to tie or take the lead here in the 3rd quarter.
I would like to welcome all the new listeners. I believe our Candy Talk actually got some more listeners involved. I've just been informed we have some new listeners chiming in right now to listen to this exciting 2nd half here of this contest between Central and Gate City. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. He hands it off to Maddox Reynolds, who is in motion off to the left-hand side. Reynolds will be met after a gain of about 2. We'll make it 2nd down and 8 on the Warriors' 21-yard line.
They go back to Maddox on the 1st down run. Maddox cuts the ball up outside the left tackle for Central, picks up a couple of positive yards on 1st down. Damai Lester now checking into the game for the Central Warriors.
You know, what you mentioned earlier, we've seen that a lot here so far in the 2nd half. Instead of keeping that ball out wide, especially with Maddox, he seems to be more content to try to bounce that ball back up the middle and gain whatever yards he can rather than string it out wide. Ethan Mullins under center. Crabtree goes in motion. The hands up the middle. He'll get a couple of yards. The tacklers, they're going to give him 2 more yards, it appears. He'll be out to the Warriors' 23-yard line. That'll make it 3rd down and 6 with just under 5 minutes left in the 3rd.
Now, 3rd and 6 can be either a run down or a pass down, but I look down here on the sideline, one of the Warriors' top receivers coming into the night's game, Ben Brickey, who was injured in the 1st half, is now down here on crutches. So Damai Lester now checks into the ball game for the Central Warriors here on this critical 3rd down. Look for maybe Lester to get a look from Ethan Mullins here on 3rd down.
So Ethan Mullins again breaks the huddle. We have 2 wing backs to the left and the right against Crabtree. Crabtree goes in motion. It is a pass. It's out wide to Lester. He makes the catch at about the 35. He'll cross the 35, be brought down at about the 38. It's going to be very close to a Warriors 1st down. We'll have to wait and see where they spot it. The referee on the far sideline, he's standing very close, but unfortunately the chains are on the near sideline. They have put 4th down the down marker, but we're still awaiting an official. It looks like we're going to have a measurement, Kelly.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. If it's short, I think Coach Owens goes for it here. I think he goes for it. You're 2 and 6. You're down 1 score in the 3rd quarter. I know it's early, but your team has the momentum. They've shown the ability to run the football here in the 2nd half. And if it's 4th down, it's only going to be 4th down in a couple of inches. So I think in this position, even though you're on your own 29-yard line, I think you got to go for it. I
would agree. The Warriors have the momentum, as you said. The only thing that you are just down 1 score. So if you do punt the ball away, you might be able to pin the. It
is a 1st down.
It is a 1st down, so it's all moot. Another thing to think about too. The Central punter Ben Brickey, as you just mentioned, is standing on the sidelines in crutches. We had hoped it might just be a breath issue, but it appears now it's a leg issue. And from our point of view, it looks like it's a leg issue. It looks like he's got some ice perhaps wrapped around that left leg. Again, he is using a crutch there as some support, so out for the rest of this game. So Ethan Mullins does lose one of his go-to receivers there if we do look to pass. So it is a Warriors 1st down at their own 29-yard line. Ethan Mullins back up under center. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion, but the handoff is to Matthew Boggs, who makes a sidestep. It's up the middle. He crosses the 40. He's across the 45-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 46-yard line. It's a 17-yard run up the middle by Matthew Boggs. And the Warriors are again here in business. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the Shade Tree Landscaping. Warriors 1st down.
Give it to the horse, baby. Give it to Matthew Boggs, churning up the yardage here in the second half. You know, Chris, I'm sitting here looking at the backfield. We got a freshman quarterback. You got a freshman one wing back, a sophomore another, and then the single back is a freshman. So a lot of young guys carrying the football tonight.
Absolutely. Good sidestep by Boggs on that play. This time it's going to be a pass from Mullins. It's a fake. He scrambles up the middle. He gets out around the 50-yard line, breaks a tackle or two. He'll get across the 50. It'll be a gain of about 4 or 5. It looked like a pass kill. I kind of have a feeling that might have just been a hand, maybe just run, or maybe he just had a
lot of hands in his face tonight when he's going back to pass. He tucked that ball and ran. All those yardage pretty much got on his own. Picks up a good 5-yard gain there on 1st down. So here are the Warriors in the Gate City territory, driving here. 3:25 to go in the third quarter.
They crossed the 50-yard line. They're at the 49-yard line. Give us a 5-yard scramble by Ethan Mullins. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. The handoff is a fake to him. It goes to Maddox Reynolds. So a little more, some fake handoffs, a fake handoff to Crabtree, a fake handoff to Matthew Boggs, and it goes to Reynolds. He'll get across the 40-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 39-yard line, so give Reynolds 10 yards, and that's another Shade Tree Landscaping Warriors 1st down.
That adjustment, the adjustments that the Warriors made at halftime are coming to fruition out here on the field in the second half. A lot of good inside running between the tackles, and they're chewing up the yards.
So Central takes breaks the huddle, I should say, with the ball on the 9-yard line. Reynolds goes in motion, but the handoff is to Boggs up the middle. Another good run by Boggs. He crosses the 30. He'll be brought down inside the 25. They'll mark him down at the 23-yard line. Give Matthew Boggs a 16-yard gain. And, Kelly, just like we saw in the first half with Gate City's running attack, Central has found something that's working, and they're sticking with it, and they're turning out the yards.
And I got to tell you, got to give some credit to this big offensive line, opening up some holes here for Boggs in the second half. They're really taking control of this football game.
Again, an offensive line that sees some new faces. Again, Ben Stoward at center, Isaiah Reynolds at right tackle, filling in for some injured players. This time the handoff goes to C.J. Crabtree, who's in motion. He runs it off the right-hand side on the sweep. He crosses the 20-yard line. He'll be brought down at about the 18-yard line. We'll give him a gain of 5, and with 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the third quarter, it brings up a 2nd down and 5 for Central, now inside of the red zone on the Gate City side of the field.
Seeing a lot of hands on the hips of the Gate City defenders over here. These boys in the red, white, and black are controlling the line of scrimmage here.
Ethan Mullins breaks the huddle. He goes back up under center. This time it's Maddox gets the handoff. He sidesteps the first tackler. Out of that. It looked like he could have been stopped in the backfield. Instead, he'll get it out to about the 15-yard line. So we'll give him about 3 yards, Kelly. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and very manageable 2 yards here for Central.
Again, between the tackles. And it looks like Gate City is taking a timeout. I really believe the defensive coordinator on the Gate City sideline, Darren Reed, has seen his guys over on their side with their hands on their hips, really getting a little bit tired. So he takes that timeout to try to get them a little more refreshed here for this 3rd down for the Central Warriors.
And Central has come out so far here in the second half and hasn't really been stopped on the running game. We haven't seen any attempts through the air. The only pass attempt we have seen, I believe, was the one pass play here that kept the drive alive to, I believe that was Lester over here on the sideline. And then the failed point after attempt that turned into a scramble by Lester. And then the pass play to Tyson Tester in the end zone that gave the Warriors the successful 2-point conversion. So a lot of hard work on the ground, a lot of that work being done by the man in the backfield. Freshman Matthew Boggs has done a lot of the work. But again, C.J. Crabtree going in motion, Maddox Reynolds going in motion. It's kind of kept this Blue Devils defense a little bit off balance, and it's working for the Warriors. So the timeout is over. The Warriors break the huddle. Again, Ethan Mullins goes up under center. It's going to be a 3rd down and 3 here for Central, looking to keep this drive alive here in the third quarter. Ethan Mullins up under center. Crabtree goes in motion. He takes the handoff. He cuts it back up the middle. He will have a 1st down. He's across the 15. He's going to be marked down just inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. That's another Shade Tree Landscaping Warriors 1st down, Kelly, and it keeps the drive going. The Warriors now down inside the 10. First down and goal for the Warriors at the 9.
Huge to punch it in right here. Here's a score update from Marion. Virginia High 20, Marion nothing at the end of the third quarter. So there's some good football going on here, Chris.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Again, Marion in that
First and goal.
Marion in that same position as Central, fighting for one of those last few playoff spots into the VHSL postseason. Crabtree goes in motion. He takes the handoff, and he has hit hard line.
We got a flag. It's going to be offsides on Gate City. They lined up offside.
So it will be an offsides field. C.J. Crabtree was running the sweep off to his right, and he was met hard by Brady Edwards by Gate City in the backfield. Unfortunately for Gate City and Edwards, that hit will go for naught. And for Central, it's going to be a 5-yard, or I guess a half the distance to the goal penalty on the offsides. So instead of the 9, they'll mark it down to the 5-yard line. So it's going to be first down and goal for Central at the 5-yard line. Again, Central trails this game 14-8. We have 2 minutes and right at 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Central's on the doorstep looking for the tying score. Ethan Mullins breaks the huddle. He goes back up under center. Matthew Boggs in the backfield. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. The handoff is to Boggs. He'll cross the 5-yard line. Looks like he'll get about a yard up the middle. He'll be met by Gate City at the 4-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4 now for Central.
I'm telling you, if Ethan Mullins keeps this ball on any type of bootleg action, he could walk in the end zone right here. Gate City's selling out. They're going right at Matthew Boggs. And with good.
Absolutely. Down inside a minute and a half here left in the third quarter. A minute, 20 seconds. The clock still rolling. Warriors break the huddle. Again, for a 2nd down and goal for the Warriors at the Gate City 4-yard line. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree in motion. It's another handoff to Boggs.
Touchdown.
He's tripped up just outside the goal line. I don't see any hands up yet. It looks like they're going to say knee down. I don't think I've seen a touchdown signal. I know the head official had his arms up. I think that was more calling for the ball. It is. They're going to mark him down at about the 1-inch line, Kelly. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and goal for the Warriors. Again, no more than 2 inches away from the end zone.
The nose of the football.
Yeah.
So here you're either going to get Ethan Mullins on a quarterback sneak, or you're going to hand the ball here to Matthew Boggs.
Last time the Warriors were in this situation, it was a handoff to Boggs. He went off to the left-hand side and punched it in for the Warriors' first touchdown. Let's see what the Warriors look to do here. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. Maddox Reynolds in motion. It's a handoff to Boggs. He's met at the goal line. They're going to say he is short on. So on a third down and inches from the goal line, they give it back to Boggs. Gate City's defense stands tall, keeps Boggs out of the end zone. That's going to bring up, Kelly, a huge 4th down and goal situation. We've got 15 seconds on the clock. The Warriors do not have to run another play in this half. And it looks like, or in this quarter, looks like Coach Owens is telling them, just let's hold up. Let's gather what we need to do, because this is a huge play, Kelly. 4th down and goal from the 1. Coach Owens wants to make sure he has some time to talk over exactly what the Warriors need to do before they run this next pivotal play.
You're inside the 1-yard line as the third quarter comes to an end. 4th and goal inside the 1-yard line. Chris, what I do in this situation, I stick Matthew Boggs right behind Ethan Mullins. I tell him to push Ethan into the end zone. I don't try to hand the ball into the backfield. I tell Matthew, push Ethan into the end zone. I tell my offensive line, get underneath those guys, and we're going to take the lead in this football game.
So the old Reggie Bush.
Absolutely. And then,
there you go. So here we go. We're going to the fourth quarter, Kelly. A lot of our home contests have not been all that exciting. Looks like we saved the best for last, because here we are. Warriors trail by 6. They're about 2 inches away from punching it in for a tying score as we go to the fourth quarter. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. We'd also like to thank Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. One more quick shout out, Kelly. I've had another nominee for the best candy, chocolate peanut butter balls.
That's a Christmas candy.
That's okay. Hey, don't judge me. Candy. You're knocking our listeners now.
That's a Christmas candy. Come on, man.
You're knocking our listeners.
Come on,
and I'm going to have to tell you, you're knocking your coworkers as well. We've got a lot of coworkers who have started listening and chiming in.
That's fine.
So
I'll show up for school tomorrow.
All right. So we will be there.
Here we go, 4th and inches.
Yep. So here we go.
Hey, this right here, man, this is desired. This
all that's left to play in this contest, unless we get free football.
Oh,
let's see. Warriors break the huddle. Ethan Mullins is back under center. The head official whistles play back in action. Let's see what the Warriors look to do on this play. It is a quarterback sneak from Mullins. It's exactly what you called, Kelly. It was a quarterback sneak by Ethan Mullins. Matthew Boggs followed in behind him with the push. Ethan Mullins gets we'll call it a yard. You got to give him a yard.
It's a yard.
That's a Warriors touchdown. And just like that, with 11:57 remaining in the game, Central Warriors 14, Gate City 14. Point after attempt still pending.
Whoa, what a drive by the Warriors right there, and then caps it off with Ethan punching in the end zone. Now the all-important extra point. We'll see what the snap holds here. We've had trouble earlier tonight.
Let's see what kind of snap we get here. It's a good snap. There's the kick by Wright. It's blocked.
Gosh,
the extra point attempt is blocked. It was a good snap that time, but unfortunately for the Warriors, the kick never got high enough to clear the line, and Gate City blocks the extra point. So the Warriors get the time score, had a chance to take the lead, but instead will remain tied 14-14.
And now we're tied.
That's got to start looming in the back.
Yeah.
The back of Coach Owens' mind now. That's 3 times we've attempted a kick. A field goal was pushed wide right, a bad snap on the next extra point attempt, and now a blocked extra point attempt. If something was to happen and Gate City was able to take this lead and, Central can tie it back up, do you go for the extra point or do you risk it and go for 2?
It depends on what the score is. If it's, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. 20-14, I think you can go for 2.
We could always ask the Tennessee Titans.
21-14, I think you can go for 2. I think we go for 2.
Let's just hope the Warriors score the next 2 touchdowns, and all this conversation is null and void.
We're going to kick this ball off. They're going to fumble it at some point in this possession. We're going to score.
We'll see what happens. Again, the Central Warriors are about to break the huddle for the kickoff. Gate City set back to receive. Expect the Central Warriors kicker Peyton Rogers play another little short pooch kick here. Let's hope it will stay in bounds or Gate City's able to field it. There's the kick. It's a little bit deeper. It's going to sail over Gate City's head, trickle down to the 10.
Oh, he fields
it, steps out of bounds.
Woo!
That ball was heading out of bounds, but Gate City's receiver was unsure as to whether or not he should field it or let it go. He fields it, and his feet were on the line after he had already caught it in bounds. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So Gate City's going to start this drive 89 yards away from their own end zone. So far, Kel, here in the second half, all the breaks, all the bounces going Central's way.
Yeah, we talked about the special teams in regards to the extra points kind of being, kind of shady at best tonight for the Central Warriors. But the kickoff teams have been nothing but money.
All right, so let's see what Central can do here. All the momentum going their way. The defense is fired up. KC takes the snap. That's Sally. He hands it off. A little bit of confusion on the handoff. By Gate City. That's number 20. That's Lawson. He's going to get the ball out around the 20-yard line. It won't be quite enough for a first down. They're going to give him 9 yards, so we'll make it 2nd down and 1. So a good first down play right there by the Blue Devils.
Going to be real important right here for the Warriors to keep the Gate City Blue Devils backed up so we can get some field position here. Big drive for both teams here in the 4th quarter.
So 2nd down and 1 for Gate City on their own 20-yard line. John Sally up under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off to his left.
Oh, no,
it's going to be – he did keep it. Yeah, he's broke a few tackles. He crosses the 30 across the 35-yard line. Had me fooled. Again, kind of one of those read option plays. He decided to keep it himself and broke a few tackles, crosses the 35-yard line, and be brought down all the way out to the 37-yard line. So Gate City gets out of the shadow of their own end zone and is driving here on 2 plays.
Gate City going back to what worked in the first half, attacking the right side of the Warriors' defensive front.
John Sally goes back up under center. He takes steps. Another handoff to the left, and there's another broken tackle. This number 10, Luke Reed. He crosses the 45-yard line. They're in the Central Warriors territory, down at about the 43-yard line. So, Kelly, it didn't take long. They got 39 yards to midfield. There's another 7. There's 46 yards for Gate City on just 3 plays on this drive.
And Chris, there's a new quarterback in the game right now for Gate City. It's Matt DeAndre.
Is it DeAndre Mack?
DeAndre
Mack. We got a new quarterback. So it's Mack in that quarterback. He hands it off to number 7. He breaks a few tackles off the left-hand side. He's across the 30, across the 25. He'll be brought down at the 23-yard line. That run was made by number 7, Landon Blanton. He's the one that broke off that big 37-yard touchdown run there in the second quarter. So we're seeing some changes here on the Gate City offense. Central Warriors tied up. Gate City makes a few substitutions, bring a new quarterback. We're calling some different running backs now, and in 4 plays, Gate City has gone from their own 11-yard line all the way down to the Warriors' 22, and are knocking on the door of the red zone.
Coach Owens takes the time out here to try to settle down his defense. This it's a good job by the Gate City Blue Devils overcoming some adversity here, blowing a 2-touchdown lead. The Central Warriors are going to have to step it up here with the ball on the 22-yard line. 10:49 to go in this football game. This is winning time. I talk a lot to a lot of my kids on my team that I coach about winning time, and the fourth quarter is winning time, and that's when you want to play your best. And certainly right now, the Warrior defense needs to step up.
So, yeah, as you said, the Warriors defense needs to step up. Let's see what the Warriors defense can do here. Gate City driving, and all the momentum was in the Warriors' favor. But now Gate City, with only 4 plays so far, have driven almost the length of the field. Then DeAndre Mack takes it. It's a pitch off to the left to number 10, Luke Reed. He's going to break a few tackles. He's going to be tackled inside the 10-yard line. It will be a first down if the play stands. There is a flag on the play, so we'll have to wait and see what the flag is. Everyone's motioning as if it's on Gate City, and it is. It will be a hold on Gate City, and that's huge for the Warriors because Gate City broke that run off. Reed was down inside. He was tackled yard line. But we'll say that the only reason he was able to do that was because of the hold by Gate City.
Yeah, Ben Stallard got tackled over there on the right defensive end, so you have to call that. So good job there by the officiating crew. And that backs Gate City up to the 34-yard line of Central.
So that's a huge penalty. It's going to be an 11-yard holding penalty. So instead of first down and goal from about the 5, it's going to make it first down and 21 from the Warriors' 34-yard line here for Gate City. DeAndre Mack takes the snap. He hands it off to the back, and he's going to be met pretty soon thereafter. He runs it up the middle, a little off to the left-hand side. Not a whole lot of running room over there. We'll give him about 3 yards. He's going to be tackled at the 31-yard line, so it will be a 3-yard gain, bringing up second down and 18.
Yeah, Logan Mullins getting off the bottom of that pile for the Central Warriors.
And having a tough time here keeping track with some of these new runners here for Gate City. We got used to calling Sally and Reed and Tomlinson, and now we're seeing a few different names there. Here we're seeing Blanton and Mack, and we'll have to see what he looks to do here. Again, it's DeAndre Mack now up under center for Gate City. He takes the snap. He hands it off to his right. Not a whole lot of room right there by the Gate City Blue Devils running. That was number 20, Logan Tomlinson. He will cross the 30. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain. He's down at the 29-yard line. So it's going to be third down and long here for Gate City. They're on their own 20, or they're on the Warriors' 29. They've got to get all the way down to the Warriors' 12 for a first down.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here with Gate City. Now, Mack is a 3-sport athlete. Also plays basketball. He's a center fielder in baseball. So for Gate City. So we'll see if they go to the air here on third down.
He goes back up under center. Again, 2 backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. He takes snap. He rolls out to his right. He's all the way back to the 42-yard line. He jumps and throws it. It is caught at the Warriors' 25-yard line. The Warriors were able to come up in pursuit and make the tackle at the 23-yard line. So it is a catch and completion for about 7 or 8 yards, but it's still going to make it fourth down for Gate City. And it's going to be fourth down and about 11 for Gate City here.
And we hit play by C.J. Crabtree. Mack is still in the game, but it looks like Sally has come back in to play quarterback on this fourth down and 11.
So it looks like it's more of a coaching decision rather than an injury perhaps decision. And Mack doing pretty good here on this drive. But now John Sally comes back in to play quarterback on this huge fourth down and 11 play for the Blue Devils. We're just under 8.5 minutes to go. Sally drops back the pass. He throws it. He has a receiver. It is caught at the 10-yard line. The catch is made by DeAndre Mack, the former quarterback on the previous plays. He's going to be tackled at the 10-yard line. That's going to be 2 yards more than they needed for the first down. They needed 11. They'll get 13 yards. So on fourth down and 11, Gate City converts the first down. They're going to say he's down just inside the 10-yard line. So it's going to make it first down and goal for the Blue Devils right at the 10.
Yeah, and that clock continues to roll now with 8:15 to go in the game.
So, again, we're tied here at 14. Gate City with 14, and they scored 14 in the first half. The Warriors have bounced back in half. The backfield from Sally off to the left. There's not going to be a whole lot of running room for Landon Blanton. It looks like it's going to go down maybe as a loss of 1. So it's a huge possession right here by the Warriors defense. Good job on first down. Let's see if we can stop them on the next 3.
Good job on first down by Tester and Mullins in there on the tackle for the Warriors. Called those two's names a lot tonight. They've had good football games. So here's Gate City now. 7:40 to go in the football game. On around the, I guess you call that the 10, 11-yard line. And 2nd and 11. We'll see what Gate City does here. Looks like Mack is splitting out to the right. Sally under center again for the Devils.
It's 2nd down and goal here for Gate City Blue Devils from the 11-yard line. Sally up under center. He hands it off to his left. He's going to be met in the backfield. That's Reed. Reed will cross the 10-yard line. He'll fight for maybe a yard. He'll cross just inside the 10-yard line. Looked like we had him in the backfield, Kelly, but he's able to at least drag it out and at least get back to the original line of scrimmage. But it's going to bring up a 3rd down and goal. Now,
had him back here around the 11. He fought off of him. Logan got back in and helped make the tackle. But now we got 3rd and goal for Gate City. Do they go to the air here? Another thing to consider, if Gate City does not pick this up on 3rd down, their kicker is 2 for 2 on extra points tonight.
And their kicker is Levi Roten. He's actually split out wide now as a wide receiver on the left-hand side. Gate City has 3 wide outs, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. And John Sally under center. He drops back the pass. He's flushed out of the pocket. He rolls to his left. He's across the 10. He's to the 5. He throws it. He was across the line of scrimmage.
Yes,
we're waiting there. There's the flag. He crossed the 10-yard. He threw that ball from about the 6-yard line, Kelly. He had a man open. He threw it to him. I think the pass was actually completed. But for Gate City, it was 4 yards past the line of scrimmage.
And a loss of down.
Yeah, the referees picked up on that. So that's going to be an illegal pass, illegal forward pass by Gate City. There's the call from the head official. It will be a loss of down and a loss of yards. They mark the ball now down at the 12-yard line. So that's going to make it 4th down and goal from the 12-yard line. So let's see what they elect to do, Kelly. A 29-yard field goal attempt. You mark off about 7 yards for the snap, be a 29-yard field goal attempt. Let's see if they elect the kick. Looks like they're going to go for it. Actually, I'll take it back. Number 2 is out there. So we'll have to wait and see what they do. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Looks like they're going to go for it, and I would expect them to look to DeAndre Mack here on this 4th down. He made a big catch on the previous 4th down. Now, here we go. This is a big play in the ball game.
4th down and goal for Gate City. Ball at the 12-yard line. We have timeout now called by Gate City. That's their 2nd here of the 2nd half. That will leave them with 1 timeout remaining. Again, we have 6 minutes and 24 seconds to go here in regulation, we should say. And, Kelly, I got to be honest with you. We've brought – it's our 4th game. About time we had a good one.
I'll tell you, you got 2-6 versus 1-8. But it's been an entertaining football game here tonight, and it's all coming down here to the 4th quarter. 4th and goal for Gate City. Again, I think they – to Mack outside.
Let's see if you're right. Gate City sending out a few other players. It actually looks like Kelly,
they're going to go for the field goal here.
Line up now for the field goal attempt.
Let's block this thing and run it back.
As I said before, they're going to kick it from right at about the 19-yard line. So it's going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt. And Kelly, we've got the window shut here in the booth now, and you can hear the crowd pretty well out there. Trying to rattle, maybe ice the kicker. Again, the kicker for Gate City is Levi Roten. This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt. If it's good, it will give Gate City a 3-point lead. 6:24 remaining here in the 4th quarter. There's the snap. There's the hold. The kick by Roten. It is up, and it is no good. It is wide left. Wide left on the kick from Roten. He had plenty of distance. He had the leg, but he hooked it a little bit left, and he was kicking it from the left hash mark. He never got the ball into the center of the uprights. The kick will be no good. So with 6 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in regulation, the Warriors will take possession of the ball, tied 14-14 at their own 20-yard.
Our Warriors have the football. We've scored on both possessions in the 2nd half. Strong running by Matthew Boggs, C.J. Crabtree, Maddox Reynolds, sprinkling in some scrambles by Ethan Mullins. Let's see what happens here in this fourth quarter drive.
I'd like to see a 6-minute, 19-minute drive touchdown run. There's the run. It's the Maddox Reynolds who was going in motion off the right-hand side. He runs it off the left-hand side. He's going to pick up about 2 yards here on first down. So we'll make it 2nd down and 8. Again, we got Reynolds off to the right-hand side on the wing back, C.J. Crabtree the left-hand side, and Matthew Boggs the back man.
I don't think there's any secret what Central wants to do on this drive. Now, I'm just kind of looking ahead. Wouldn't it be poetic justice? The Warriors drive down, get into field goal range. Peyton Rogers comes in, nails it.
Nah, that would be good. But
nails it at the end.
It's been a snapping issue as well, so that would be nice. But I'll take 6. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Ethan Mullins hands it off to Matthew.
There he goes.
He sidesteps. He's going to be brought down. Good tackle by number 10, Luke Reed. Luke Reed may have saved a touchdown by Matthew Boggs. He will not save a first down, though. That's a Shade Tree Landscaping Warriors first down on the 9-yard run by Matthew Boggs. Warriors have the ball at the 31.
I'm telling you, they made some adjustments at halftime. That play wasn't there in the first half. These guys up front, the center and the 2 guards, really doing a good job springing Matthew Boggs.
So the Warriors break the huddle. Again, it's Ethan Mullins under center, C.J. Crabtree and Maddox Reynolds off to the side. It's C.J. in motion. C.J. gets the ball off to the right. He cuts it back up the middle. Not a whole lot of running room, but he does make a little bit out of it. Looks like the tackle propelled him a little bit forward. They're going to give him about a gain of 3. So with 5:15 left in the game, it's going to be 2nd down, and they're going to call it 8 here for the Warriors.
Positive yards on first down, 3-yard gain. 2. Well, they gave him 2 on the scoreboard. Looks like 3 by the down marker over there. Damai Lester checking into the game for the Central Warriors. Along with Josh Price.
So the clock is now under 5 minutes. Warriors are 67 yards away from the end zone. Again, the score is tied 14-14. Ethan Mullins under center. That's Maddox Reynolds in motion. They give the ball to C.J. Crabtree on the other side. He breaks the tackle. He's across the 50. He's across the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. He fumbles the ball inside the 5. We're waiting to see who has recovered it. I don't know if he was touched or just fumbled it on his own. Gate City has recovered. It was almost a 67-yard touchdown run by C.J. Crabtree. He had 2 guys kind of right there with him to beat. It looked like they were closing in on him about the 10-yard line, and right when he got to the 5, the ball squirts loose. And it looks like they're going to say it went through the end zone, or at least went into the end zone. Gate City will recover the fumble inside the end zone. It will be a touchback. And with 4 minutes and 31 seconds left, Gate City gets the ball, tied 14.
Oh, man. Wow, what a great run by CJ down the right sideline, and just got down to the 1, and the ball just came squirting out.
It was that misdirection run that they've run a few times. The one guy,
tough run, man. That's tough.
Maddox goes in motion. They fake the handoff to him. They faked it to Boggs. They give it to CJ, and he broke it down the right-hand side. Let's see what the defense can do. Sally takes the snap. He hands it off up the middle. That's Reed up the middle, I believe. He's going to get a first down. He crosses the 30-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 34. In fact, that's not Reed. That was number 7, Landon Blanton again. That's going to be a Gate City first down across the 30-yard line. We're down to 4 minutes and 26 seconds left. Again, our score is tied 14-14. Gate City has the ball on their own 34-yard line.
Chris, so many momentum shifts in this football game.
At this point, you got to hope that the Warriors defense can stand tall
right here overcome some adversity
and kind of help save C.J. Crabtree on that fumble right there. Again, John Sally up under center. He hands it off to the back. That's Blanton again. He's not going to have a whole lot of running room. He goes up left and cuts it back to the middle. He crosses the 35, but won't get much more after that. Looks like it's going to be a gain of about I thought I saw about 2, but based on that sideline, looks like it's going to be about 3. So it's going to be second down and about 7.
Good Tyson Tester. Now, with 3:50 to go in the football game, you got to look. The clock could become an issue. Gate City with only 1 timeout left. As I look and see that Mack, I believe, has gone back under center for Gate City.
Yeah, it does look like it's DeAndre Mack under center. He'll take the snap. He hands it off to the first back. He's going to be tripped up the middle. Again, that's Blanton up the middle. He's going to be brought down right at about the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 3. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. Clock still running down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation.
Huge down here for the Warrior defense. We'll see what they can come up with on this 3rd down and 3. Mack again back under center for the Gate City Blue Devils. I would expect Blanton off the left side.
3rd down and 3. DeAndre Mack goes up under center. He takes the snap. There's a flag on the play. He will be met in the backfield, though. It looked like it was a read option, and the Warriors stand tall and stop it. Let's see what the penalty flag is.
That's going to be illegal motion on Gate City, which will be central. And Gate City will be forced to punt here on 4th down. Here comes the punt team in for the Gate City Blue Devils.
That is correct. The Warriors defense was able to stop the 1st down run, the 3rd down run for a 1st down by Gate City. It wasn't a legal shift, so it wouldn't have mattered if they'd gotten the 1st down or not. Since they stopped the Gate City run, the Warriors elect to decline the penalty. We have 2:55 remaining in the game. Drew Vermillion for Gate City standing at his own 25-yard line, ready to punt. It's Damon Lester standing at his own 25, waiting to receive the punt. In 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's a low snap. Vermillion feels it. He gets the punt away. He angles it to the right-hand side. Lester elects to let it bounce at the 25-yard line.
Warrior bounce.
It takes a Warrior bounce back across the 30. They're going to spot it down at the 32-yard line. So at 2 minutes and 34 seconds, Kelly, Central has the football in a tie ball game, 14-14.
Okay, you got 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Central still has 2 time here in the ball game. What do we do? I think we come out, we stay with what's got us here in the second half. They have not stopped our running game. Granted, 2.5 minutes isn't a lot of time for any kind of long, sustained drive. We saw CJ bust that one down the right sideline there just a second ago. I expect the Warriors to not change a thing on the offensive side, even with 2.5 to go.
I think 2.5 is plenty of time here. Let's see what the Warriors like to do. I expect to see some runs here right off the bat. CJ Crabtree goes in motion. It's a handoff to Matthew Boggs up the middle. He won't find a whole lot of running room. He'll be brought down at about the 34-yard line. That's going to be a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Warriors with 2:20 left in regulation.
If nothing else, what you want to do here is you want to possess the football to the end of the game. Worst case scenario, you go to overtime.
So the Warriors elect to huddle up. They break the huddle with 20 on the play clock. We're down to 2:08 left in regulation. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. He takes the snap. Crabtree goes in motion. The handoff is to Crabtree. He bounced it out wide to the right. Not a whole lot of room out there. He will cross the 35-yard at the 36-yard line. So we'll give it 3rd down and 6 with 1:46 remaining and the clock still running.
Neither team looks to be in any hurry. Gate City trying to save their one timeout here, possibly get the ball back with a little over a minute to go if the Warriors cannot convert on this 3rd down.
It's kind of one of those situations where both teams, don't really know how to play this. Crabtree goes in motion. It's a handoff. I believe it was to Reynolds. It was another one of those misdirection plays. Not a whole lot of running room that time by Reynolds, and he'll be brought down right at the 35-yard line. So it's going to be actually a loss of a yard. And as we predicted, with 1:18 left, Gate City uses their 3rd and final timeout. So with the punt pending here by Central, Gate City's looking at getting the ball back with right around a minute to go. And Kelly, something to keep in mind. Ben Brickey was the punter on the last possession. He has since gotten injured, or on the last punt attempt. He was injured on a pass play over the middle. So the only punt Central has had so far in this game was by Brickey. And as we've said, he stands on the sidelines on crutches with what appears to be a left leg injury. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what Coach Owens elects to do here. I mean, obviously you have to punt it away. The field position is too good to give Gate City the ball back. You have to punt this ball away. Let's just see how we're able to execute this.
I think I saw Peyton Rogers run in there, the huddle, in the last second, and it does look like Peyton is going back to punt. Now, remember, Peyton is a soccer player, or at least a former soccer player. Maybe he still plays, not real sure, but probably has some experience punting the football.
All right, so Rogers is standing at his own 22-yard line. Gate City sends 2 guys back. It's DeAndre Mack, and I didn't quite catch the number of the other one to see who's back set to return. They do have 2 guys on either side. It's number 10, Luke Reed, set to return. There's the snap. Rogers takes it. There's the punt. It looks to be a pretty good one, but it will be fielded by Mack. He fumbles the football. He picks it up. He breaks a tackle. He's across the 40. He's out to around the 50-yard line. He'll finally be chased out of bounds. We're going to mark him out at the 48-yard line. So Gate City will take over with 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. They take over the football on their own 48-yard line. 52 yards for a touchdown, Kelly. We've seen that, Roten has the leg. You feel they probably need to get the ball inside the 20 to give him a shot at a potential game-winning field goal.
And Gate City has 1 timeout remaining as well. It looks like Mack is going to take control of Gate City here on this possession.
All right. I was just making sure, does Gate City have a timeout? I thought they called their last timeout right there on the run play. Okay, they do have 1 timeout. We have confirmed they do have 1 timeout. So 1 minute, 6 seconds. It is DeAndre Mack under center. They hand it off to Reed. He has nowhere to go off the right-hand side. He'll get it out across the line of scrimmage. He may get a yard. We'll call him down at the 49-yard line. The clock is still running. We're down to 52 seconds. Gate City is looking like they're going to huddle up here, Kelly.
Looks like Sally is coming into the game. And you got to think he's going to throw the football here.
Yep,
they still got the timeout in their back.
Yeah, they break the huddle. We're down to 40 seconds left. Sally goes up under center. He has 3 wide receivers. He drops back the pass. It's a quick pass out to his left. It is caught across the 45-yard line. He'll be forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That's enough for a Gate City first down. And with 32.3 seconds left, Gate City has the ball now at the 41-yard line. Again, we are tied 14-14 here at Central High School.
Still about 20, I would say about 20 yards away from getting into field goal range.
Yeah, they probably need to get the ball down around the 20-yard line to have a shot at a field goal by Levi Roten. But at this point, again, they have 1 timeout in their pocket. Let's see what Gate City elects to do. Sally is in the shotgun. There's a flag. I believe we have a false start, maybe a legal formation. So it's a huge 5 yards right here for the Central defense. We're waiting the penalty here. It is a false start by Gate City. So they'll go from the 41. We'll march them back to the 46-yard line. So a little more yards now that the Gate City Blue Devils will have to give if they want a field goal opportunity. Again, we're down to 30.7 seconds remaining here in regulation.
Well, we got some good football going here, Chris. Good football here in the fourth quarter.
I'd rather be on the other side of the ball right now. I wish Central had the ball. Let's see if our defense can hold and force overtime. Gate City breaks the huddle. Sally is in the shotgun. He has 3 wide receivers out to the wide side, 2 running backs. He drops back the pass. He throws it to his left about 2 yards too high for his intended receiver. His intended receiver on that play was number 12, DeAndre Mack. The pass sails out of bounds with 26.3 seconds left. It brings up second down and 15.
Well, you got to think here with the ball on the 46-yard line, only 26 seconds to go, that they're just going to throw the football here for the remainder of the football game. So you take away the run, 1 timeout to go. If I'm Central, I'll drop some guys back here, make sure nothing gets over my head.
And Sally now goes up under center. He has 2 backs behind him in the backfield. He has, I believe, just 2 wide receivers split out to his right. He takes the handoff. It's a play action. He's forced out of the pocket. He breaks a tackle. He's going to be brought down at about the 40-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 yards on the scramble. That's not going to be enough. The clock is still winding. Gate City
still have the timeout.
Yeah, they are choosing not to call their timeout. We're down to 7 seconds. He clocks the ball with 6.3 seconds remaining. Very questionable call right there, Kelly. It was 3rd down and 9. He was brought down with at least 15 seconds left. You call the timeout right there, and you take your chance on the next play. Now they've got 4th down and 9. With 6 seconds left, with a timeout in your pocket, you figure at this point, you've probably only got time for 1 play.
Yeah, that's total clock mismanagement by the Gate City staff over on their side. Now we do have a timeout on the field, and this one's going to be taken by the Central Warriors. But nevertheless, in that situation, you have to burn your timeout, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, your quarterback.
You don't want to spike the ball. Now it's 4th and 9 from the 40. You still have the 1 timeout left, but you got to think you only have 1 play left.
Yeah, I mean he got 6 yards. It was a long drawn out play anyway. He dropped back the pass. Good job by the Warriors defensive line right there in pursuit. Forced Sally out of the pocket. He was able to elude the sack and pick up about 6 yards. But again, the Warriors brought him down in bounds. There's at least 15 seconds on the clock, and in that situation with 1 timeout.
Got to burn it.
Yeah, I feel like you got to call that timeout. Give yourself 2 more plays. Now you've got a timeout in your pocket that you probably aren't going to even need. With 6 seconds left on the clock, maybe you have time for a quick play, but now you need 9 yards. It's 4th down.
Yeah, now the Warriors have dropped. Now we have 2 safeties standing at about the 21-yard line.
All right.
Nothing behind
So
him.
here we go. 6 seconds to go. Gate City. Sally takes the snap in the shotgun.
Screen.
It's a screen pass. Gate City sets up a wall of blockers out in front. It's Reed. He's not going to have it. He fumbles the ball. He'll get it to the 25-yard line. But really, the fumble and the play is irrelevant. What's important is he was not able to score a touchdown. Good job by the Central defense. I like the play call right there, really, by Gate City.
That was scary.
Scary. Sally probably doesn't have the arm to throw it 40 yards. So they let about 4 or 5 Warriors on the line break free, and then those offensive linemen then built that screen wall out in front. Fortunately for the Warriors, they only got about 15 yards out of it. And here we are, Kelly. We're going to overtime.
Overtime.
All right, let's
talk about the football rules.
The football rules of high school overtime. And it's been a while since I've seen one of these, but I'm fairly certain it's a lot like college, except in high school you begin at the 10.
You begin at the 10-yard line.
You begin at the 10. So it's first and goal.
First and goal from the 10.
You get 4 plays, first and 10.
That's
You punch it in for a touchdown or kick the field goal.
Right.
You can go for 1, you go for the extra point, or you can go for 2, and you play it out until there's a winner. Both teams will get the ball from the 10-yard line.
Right.
And, both teams will get the ball. So whoever gets the ball first, if they score, the other team can match it from the 10, first and goal. And when it's all said and done, whichever team comes out with it at the end wins the game.
Typically, what you want to do in this situation is you really want to start off on defense because that lets you know what you have to do as an offense.
Yep.
So the coin toss here is critical. This is fun. This is different. You don't see it a whole lot. I do not know this. Peanut may be able to speak to this. This may be the first overtime game in Central High School football history. Peanut says it is.
He gave us a thumbs up. The last overtime game I can remember, Kelly, I was a lot younger, way younger. I remember seeing a J.J. Kelly Appalachia game at Appalachia that went to overtime. That's the last one I was on, and I'm betting I was maybe 10.
I played in one. We played Coburn down in Coburn.
I do remember that one. I was in high school now. I do remember that one. So those are the only 2 I can ever recall actually seeing. I will say this. The Heaters Baseball Club picked a heck of a game to sponsor.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got viewers upon viewers here tonight, and we're going to overtime. So the Heaters Baseball Club getting a little extra out of their advertising dollars here tonight. But we better also thank Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. Chris Davis with only a 3-yard coin flip here in overtime, and like the 5-yard one he had to start the game. We're waiting to see who won the coin toss and who will get the ball and who will play defense.
Just got a Twitter notification in from Dalton Mullins, former Central High School quarterback, that says in his sophomore year they lost to Letcher County Central.
Oh, okay.
And I remember that game. We got hosed in that game.
So that,
totally hosed.
There you go. All right, so here we go. Looks like we're going to play this on our right side end zone. This is the end zone that faces nearest the clock, the one that faces more towards the 4-lane, or if you're unfamiliar, it's the one closest to Walmart. It looks like Central won the coin toss, perhaps, and we'll play defense, which is what you want to do here at this time. So Central will know what they have to do when they get the ball. But Gate City will get the ball first down and goal starting at the 10-yard line. You cannot get a first down. It is 4 plays to either get a touchdown, kick a field goal, or a stop. If the defense stops you or if you get a turnover, the other team gets the ball. One thing we did not mention, if we have a fumble that runs back for a touchdown, that's the ball game.
That's exactly right. Here we go. Gate City with the ball. First and goal from the 10, starting the overtime, number 1.
So John Sally is under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off to number 7. That's Blanton off the left-hand side. He's going to cross the 5-yard line. He'll be hit hard and brought down right at the 2-yard line. So a good first down play by Gate City gets them 8 yards closer to the end zone. We'll make it second down and goal now from the 2.
Tough run there by Gate City on first down. Second, it looks like they're marking him around the 3-yard line, Chris. So we'll see what they come up with here on second down. I would expect another run off tackle to the left. Seems to be their money play all night long.
Yeah, so now the Central Warriors defense with their backs against the wall here on this opening overtime possession. Again, Gate City now with the ball at the 3-yard line. Gate City again, John Sally up under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off again to Blanton off the left-hand side. He'll break the initial tackle, Kelly. He crosses the end zone. That's a touchdown. So now it's Gate City 20, Central 14 with the point after attempt upcoming. And it's a key, you talk a lot about point afters, they're obviously very important, but in overtime they become even more important because, this will tell the Warriors what they might need to do the next time they get it. If they miss the extra point and Central knows touchdown, extra point, we win. So these extra points become huge at this point in a ball game. So again, the Gate City kicker is Levi Roten. There's the snap. It's a good snap. Roten's kick is up, and it is, I believe it's good. It is good. So it makes it 21-14. Again, now Central will get the ball. Central now knows they need a touchdown and an extra point to force round 2 of overtime. Or Central can score a touchdown and go for 2 and go for the win. If Central does not score a touchdown, Gate City gets the win.
That's exactly right. So all the pressure now falls on the Central Warriors sideline as they huddle on the sideline, getting ready to take the field for their first possession in overtime. I would expect, again, a whole lot of Matthew Boggs on this drive.
Yeah, let's see what they get. It's first down and goal from the 10. The Warriors cannot get a first down. They have to get a touchdown here and then make the extra point to force double overtime. Ethan Mullins goes up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. The handoff is to Boggs. He breaks a few tackles. He was met at the line of scrimmage, Kelly. That was all Matthew Boggs. He turned his back and kept churning. He got the ball across the 5-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 4. So just like Gate City had a good first down run, the Warriors come right back with one of their own. It's a 6-yard run for Boggs, 2nd and 4.
I got to be honest. These Gate City defensive linemen are coming so hard. I think if Ethan just kept the ball on a quarterback sneak, he could walk in.
Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. They hand it off to Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's got the pylon.
He's in.
That's a touchdown for C.J. Crabtree.
They're going to go for 1 or they're going to go for 2?
We'll have to see. It's a 4-yard touchdown run by C.J. Crabtree.
Yeah, they're going to
look like Peyton Rogers is out there. Again, it's 21-20. Just if you've just tuned in, Central has missed a field goal attempt. They have missed an extra point on a bad snap, which luckily, thanks to Damon Lester, turned into a successful 2-point conversion. The last extra point was blocked at the line of scrimmage. So let's see what the Central Warriors can do. Damon Lester is the holder. Peyton Rogers is the kicker. We have a timeout called by Gate City.
That was called by Central.
Oh, was that called by Central? Again, the long snapper here for Central is number 43. I believe that is Derek Dameron.
The offensive linemen are coming off the field begging them to go for 2.
Peyton Rogers actually just jogged back out on the field, Kelly, and picked up the kicking tee. So let's see what the Warriors elect to do.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Again, if they go for 2, it's going to be an all-or-nothing play. If Central converts the 2-point conversion, they win. If Central does not convert the 2-point conversion, Gate City will win 21-20. We are under a timeout. There's no time on the clock during these plays. Central is huddled up on the sideline. Coach is making sure they got the appropriate number of players. Gate City is huddled up just outside the goal line, making sure everyone goes over their last second instructions.
I like the call. Whether they get it or not, I like the call.
Central is going to go for 2. Ethan Mullins comes back out. Matthew Boggs in the backfield. You got C.J. Crabtree and Maddox Reynolds also at the wing backs. Again, this is it. Central Warriors get the 2-point conversion. They win 22-21. They will lose 21-20. And now that I've built you up, we have another timeout.
That timeout was simply to see what Gate City would do as they came to the line of scrimmage. They're sending the house. They are sending the house. Now, if you want to, it is one-on-one to the outside right here with Damon Lester. He has about a 6-yard cushion. You could call a slant, and it would be open for the score. But that takes some guts, especially after you've ran the ball down the field all night long. But I'm telling you, they're selling out here on the line of scrimmage. This is open.
We've converted, 2 pass plays successful? Or 3. We've had 3 successful pass plays, I believe, in this contest. That would take some sheer guts.
We got people in the stands looking at us. We must be getting loud.
If you go for 2 in this situation, or if you throw the ball in the air for 2, that would be good. It's already guts you enough to go for 2 and the win. Again, the Central Warriors come back out. They will go for 2. A successful 2-point conversion gives Central the 22-21 victory. A failure, they will lose 21-20.
Here we go.
Ethan Mullins is in the shotgun. C.J. Crabtree in motion. It's a handoff to Crabtree on the right-hand side. He's got one. He reaches. It's good. The 2-point conversion is good. It was a C.J. Crabtree handoff. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Ethan Mullins was in the shotgun. They handed off to Crabtree. Woo! Gate City had two defenders out wide. Crabtree had to try to beat both of them. He had one guy in the pylon. He was actually hit at around the 2 to 1 yard line. He was able to lunge and stretch, got the ball over the end zone, and it is a Central victory, 22 to 21 in overtime.
Woo! All right. What a play call, man. Guts. Yeah, boy. Boy.
So there you go, 22 to 21. Just to recap the game.
That was nice, man.
Gate City up 14 to nothing in the first half. They scored 2 touchdowns on runs. Central came back and scored 14 unanswered in the second half. Okay, on runs by, I believe it was one quarterback sneak by Ethan Mullins and another run by Matthew Boggs in the other order. Matthew Boggs scored the first touchdown. Ethan Mullins scored the second one. On the first touchdown, the Warriors had a failed point-after attempt that turned into a successful 2-point conversion thanks to Damon Lester and his legs, and a throw to Tyson Tester. On the next touchdown, Ethan Mullins tied it at 14, and the Warriors missed the extra point. It was blocked at the line. Central actually got the ball back and looked like they were about to score the winning touchdown. C.J. Crabtree broke about a 50-some-yard touchdown, but unfortunately fumbled the ball at the 5-yard line with under 3 minutes to go. Gate City recovered the fumble inside the end zone for a touchback. Neither team was able to score with the rest of regulation. Gate City had their chances late in the game, but let the clock run out. We go to overtime. Gate City gets the ball first. Gate City punches it in on 2 plays. They kick the extra point to take a 21-20 lead, or 21-14. Central on their second play give the ball to C.J. Crabtree for a 4-yard touchdown run that made it 21-20. Central lined up to kick the extra point, but called timeout. They then elected to go for 2. After another timeout, Ethan Mullins came out in the shotgun. C.J. Crabtree winged out to the left. Crabtree went in motion. Ethan Mullins hands it off to him. 3 yards later, it's a successful 2-point conversion. Central Warriors 22, Gate City 21.
I got beside myself on that 2-point conversion. I think I screamed touchdown. All that matters is we won. What a great football game, man. You come into the night and you think we got 1-8 going up against 2-6, and you think, well, Thursday night got moved back from Friday. Let me tell you, this was a good football game. This is the best football game we've had all year.
Absolutely.
I think 2 teams really battling hard, really playing hard. I think that speaks to both coaching staffs getting their teams ready to play football. And what can you say about this Warrior group? And they've been decimated with injuries again this season. They start the year off with a win against Eastside, and then they drop several games in a row. But here down the stretch, first last week, a win versus Lee in an exciting contest, 27-21. They come back tonight with this overtime thriller to take a 22-21 win over Gate City. And you can't say enough about the fight that this football team has shown. I love the call to go for 2 there by Coach Owens and his staff. Just a great call. Whether they got it, I think I said it during the broadcast, whether they got it or not, I love the call. I mean, because, you're showing some confidence in your team right there. They didn't let him down. CJ barrels in for the 2. Just an outstanding effort by the Central Warriors. And then we go to the next week. Against Grundy. And this could be for a playoff spot. So Great game by Central.
It'd be interesting to ask Coach Owens, if we get a chance to talk to him here before we go off the air, whether or not the fact that we had failed 3 kicks, either on bad snaps or bad kicks or bad holds or whatever, if the fact that we were 0 for 3 on kick attempts tonight weighed any on the decision to go for 2 right there at the end of the game. I know it had to be a factor in the back of his mind somewhat that we've tried 3 kicks and none of them were successful. Let's don't lose this on a failed extra point. Let's take the risk. Let's take the gamble and see if we can punch in the 2 and just take the outright win.
I think it was in the back of his mind, but I also think when you look at the second half, we controlled the line of scrimmage the entire second half. I think he had faith in his guys, and I think the guys on the team, when he called the timeout, the first timeout in overtime, you saw the big offensive lineman coming off the field imploring him, hey, let's go win the football game. And I think, you know, Coach O, he's an old offensive lineman, and I think that kind of tugged at his heartstrings a little bit. And he said, you know what, let's go win the football game. They went and won the football game. So that's a great job by Central right there.
And again, lost in all this is the fact that, you know, if our calculations are correct, it does keep Central's, you know, playoff hopes alive. They needed a win this week and then a win next week against Grundy to perhaps, you know, jump up from the 9 to the 8. Again, the top 8 teams make it into the postseason. You got to update on that Marion score.
At last post, this is coming off of Marion's football Twitter page. Marion trailed Virginia High 27-6 with 4:53 to go in the fourth quarter. So you gotta believe that Virginia High wound up winning that football game. So now that has to make the power points a lot closer.
Yeah.
So we will, you know, we may need to ask Coach Owens if he's able to come and join us tonight and just see exactly where we are.
Yeah, again, you know, Marion, assuming they lose tonight, that would drop them to 4-5 on the season. The win here by Central makes them 3-6. So a win next week would make the Warriors 4-6. A loss by Marion would drop them to 4-6. So they would be tied in record. But again, the way it works in high school football, it all goes off of power points. And, you know, you just have to wait and see, do the Warriors out PowerPoint Marion in the end.
I know. I'm sorry, Chris. I know before the game there was talk. Evan heard it down on the field that if we win next week, we are in.
Okay, so there you go. So, you know, we had to get this one first. And, you know, it took a heck of a second half by the Warriors. Again, they trailed 14-0 at the half. Scored 14 points in 2 straight possessions there in the third quarter and right there at the start of the fourth quarter. You know, went to overtime, and then, you know, we saw what happened there. Again, we'd like to thank tonight's game sponsor who got the bang for their buck tonight. Tonight's game sponsor, and the game was brought to you by the Heaters Baseball Club. With over 400 wins and 50 tournament titles, including last year's USSSA World Series and back-to-back state titles, they are Southwest Virginia's premier travel baseball organization. They've been fielding elite travel teams for the last 7 years. They are currently looking for some potential players on their 10U travel team. So if you are looking for a travel baseball team for your son, who will be 10 years of age next baseball season, give the Heaters a call or reach out to them. They can be reached at 276-219-3659 or 276-219-2063. Again, that's any kid who may be interested in playing some 10U travel baseball season for the defending World Series champions. Other game sponsors for tonight include Morgan McClure Chevrolet Buick and Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. Again, Shade Tree Landscaping was tonight's Warriors First Down sponsor. If you would like to be a sponsor, and we stressed this earlier in the game and can't stress it enough, email us at warriornationblog@gmail.com. Again, that's warriornationblog@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us at Twitter at Warrior Nation Blog. That's Warrior NATN Blog, or at Sturgill S Media. That's on Twitter. You can even contact me at Coach Wilson17 or Kelly Foster at Coach K Foster. Anybody who is willing to sponsor, please get in touch with us. We do have a home game next week that we would love to be able to bring to you. As we've mentioned tonight, you know, next week's game has huge postseason implications here for the Central Warriors. A win next week gets them into the postseason, but we do need a sponsor for that game in order for us to bring you this broadcast here on Sturgill S Media. And again, tonight's game, a thrilling overtime 22-21 victory. This game will last as long as YouTube lasts. This will be a game that everyone here playing tonight will be able to go back and listen to later. Something you can't say if you listen to it on regular radio.
That's right.
If you're listening to this on some, radio station in your car, that game is now lost in the airwaves forever. This game will last as long as the internet is out there and forever. So, people will be able to go back and relive this game. These players tonight will be able to go back in 20 years and dig up this YouTube clip and listen to this game. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at, go back and see if there's any games that you played in high school. There's a chance that some of those are on YouTube. I graduated high school 20 years ago. There are high school basketball games that I played in that were on VHS tapes that are on YouTube today.
Same.
And there are football games from the 90s There are basketball games. There are baseball games from the 1990s that are on YouTube. Those games live on.
Yep.
This game will live on not only for Kelly and I or for Evan Sturgill. They'll live on for these kids, okay? We'd love to have you guys come on as a sponsor so we can keep this going. And it's not always about the money. It's about the kids. Let this live on. Let this exciting game tonight and next week's game continue on.
Yeah, Chris and I would love to be able to bring you next Friday night's game along with, and we're going to go ahead and say it, with a playoff game. So we would love to bring you both of those, but we do need sponsors, and you should want to be a sponsor. Get behind these kids. And like I said, again, it's for these kids. You know, one day they're going to look back and they're going to say, hey, do you remember when we went for 2 and beat Gate City? And they can say, well, we can listen to it. We can pull it up and we can listen to it. And we can listen to CJ cross the goal line with a 2-point conversion to win the football game. So consider this week being a sponsor. Contact anybody that Chris just talked about there and do that. And I would also like to challenge all of Warrior Nation to come out and support the Warriors next Friday night here at home. It will be senior night. There will be a lot on the line as far as playoff implications go. So come out and be a part. There's some exciting things going on up here at Central High School.
Again, if you do sponsor next week's game, it's not just for next week. You will remain a sponsor all throughout the rest of Warrior Nation blog sports broadcasts. We do plan on bringing you some girls and boys basketball games this winter, as well as some girls softball games and boys baseball games this upcoming spring. We're currently waiting on some people to come up. It looks like we're getting a few. It looks like Maddox Reynolds is on his way up here to the press box. I see Coach Owens making his way up, so should be a pretty entertaining. Be nice to pick some of these guys' brains as to exactly what all transpired tonight, especially how they felt during that overtime session. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Foster and let him talk to these individuals and give you guys a little recap of what happened in their minds.
All right, first player that we have here to talk to us tonight is Maddox Reynolds. We're going to get Maddox put the headset on and come on in and sit down for us. Congratulations, my man. That's got to feel good. That's got to feel good.
It feels great, Coach.
It's got to feel good. So watched you. You know what? That was a battle. That was a 4-quarter battle. Look, turn your cheek over. You got some blood going over there. You look like you played a hard-nosed football game tonight. Talk a little bit about what went on out there.
Well, it all started Monday. We had a great practice, great Tuesday, Wednesday, and we came out here Thursday. And first half was a little slow because we just came out wide-eyed. And then my family grew up. My family grew up, and we won this football game.
That was an excellent job by you guys tonight. Now, you had some real tough runs. And a lot of times throughout the course of this season, we've seen you hit the edge and break off some runs, but you were really running hard between the tackles tonight. Won't you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you're not a real big guy, but you're brave enough and you're tough enough to stick it up in there and grind out some yards.
Well, first downs. I would love to be that player that has 6 touchdowns a game, 500 yards. But we got to get first downs to win a football game. And, man, I got some good blocking. I got some good blocking up front to help me. We pushed out them, and then we just went right up the middle. Just cut it up. And
you ran hard, and you protected the football, and that was a good job by you there. Talk to me about the 2-point conversion there at the end. And I know Coach Owens called the timeout, and it looked like you guys coming off the field looked like you were begging him to go for 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Owens said, I'll put it on your shoulders. This is all on you guys. And as you see my face, I sacrificed my body for that last play to make sure CJ got in the end zone.
That's awesome. Great job by you, Maddox. Continued success down the road. Go get them next week, my man. Go get them.
Thank you.
Good job. That's Maddox Reynolds, freshman running back, defensive back for the Central Warriors. And now we have Coach Owens going to step in here with us and talk to us a little bit. First of all, congratulations, Coach. A heck of a football game, man.
Very good football game. Tough physical game, both sides. I thought, both squads played well. We just played a little better there at the end and made a play when we needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like an old school LPD football game. To grind it out, bloody each other's nose.
Well, an old offensive lineman, I like to just line up and run the football. We've done a very good job running the football the last 2 weeks. I'd like to force the plate a little better there in the first half. I thought we came out pretty flat tonight. But challenged them at halftime. Kids responded. and made plays when we had to make plays.
Yeah, I noticed, in the first half, they were really bottling up some of Matthew's runs, and your wings were kind of trying to hit the edge and just kind of getting strung out in the second half, man. Between the tackles was where it was at. Matthew, those offensive linemen opened up some holes there for Matthew. He was able to get some tough yards.
We did. We made some adjustments there at halftime, and it really benefited us. They were presenting us a problem with the way that we traditionally block things. So we made a couple of adjustments there at halftime, and it just opened up there for Matthew, really opened up for Maddox and CJ too.
And last question, Coach. We've got to talk about the 2-point conversion here at the end of the game. When you call timeout and you could tell that these guys really want to go for 2, and I told Chris during the broadcast, I said, Coach Owens, an all offensive lineman. They've controlled the offensive line the whole second half. I think he's going to do it.
Well, we were actually going for 2 on the field goal attempt. It was a fake field goal.
I
didn't like their alignment, so I called the timeout.
Okay.
And then I didn't like their alignment on the second play we called. So then luckily we had 2 timeouts to where I could get us into what we thought was a pretty good play for us. We adjusted our formation there on that third time, and then when I saw how they lined up, I knew we was getting it in.
That was awesome. CJ, dove across the goal line there for this successful 2-point conversion. I told Chris during the broadcast, I said, whether they get it or not, I love it because it inspires the kids. You put the confidence in them to get it done. They went out and won the football game.
Well, I told them, after we scored it, where I told Coach Compton when we were, he calls our offense up here, and I told him to get a 2-point play win. When we score, we're going for 2. So we first started with that field goal, and I didn't like the alignment we had. So we got ourselves into the right play, and I had 100% confidence in our kids.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Coach. Now, one more question for you. Next week's game, if you win, are you in?
If we win, from my coaches, I'm not a math whiz. So from my assistant coaches have promised me with Virginia High's win tonight.
Right.
We are in if we win.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Coach. Good luck to you next Friday night against Grundy.
Thank you.
All right. We got some more guys coming in here that we would like to interview. We got freshman running back Matthew Boggs. Had a big night. Don't know how many yards. Peanut, do you have his finals yet? No, Peanut's over here working feverishly. Freshman running back Matthew Boggs. Outstanding game tonight, young man. You ran the ball hard. You're a young guy. You don't run like a young guy. You run like you've been running the ball your whole life. And I've watched you play just about since you were little. So it's nothing new to me, but it's to a lot of these fans, they haven't seen you play, and you really showed up tonight. First half kind of tough. Talk to me about the struggles there in the first half, not really getting a lot going.
Well, when we would run 22 dive and 24 option, you just plugged the holes. You couldn't block them, know. And every time I get the ball, I get like 2 yards. I couldn't break like normally do. But when we came out that second half, I was able to do it. Yeah.
Looked like those big offensive linemen really took charge up there for you. You had some holes and you ran tough. So talk about your success out there in the second half.
Well, I just want to thank all my coaches and thank all my offensive linemen for doing it, opening up the holes, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to get these yardage I've been doing.
Yeah, you've been running the football really well, son. Now, on the talk to me, last question for you tonight. Talk to me about the 2-point play.
2-point play, well, we called 2 timeouts, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we came out on the field, it was really nervous. I held my block, and then CJ just ran around the corner and took it.
It's great. Great job. I tell you one thing, man. It was exciting to watch from up here. Congratulations to you. Continue success down the road. Hey, go win next week. Freshman year, man. You get in the playoffs. All right. Good job. Good job, Matthew Boggs. Matthew had 18 carries tonight for 104 yards and a touchdown. So great job by him.
All right, Kelsey, we had a whole host of guys out here waiting for their chance to get here and talk. All right. So, you want it? You want the rest of these guys? There's about 3 more guys outside of you. Okay, I'll take it. All right, next over here, listen, we got Logan Mullins stepping in here. Pull you up a chair there, Logan. Let's ask you a little bit. Get your headset on, scoot up here to the mic. Logan, there early on in the game, we were calling your name out a lot on defense. Some big tackles out there tonight. Tell us about the game.
Well, first we came out a little dead, but we came in second half and just got it all together as a team. Yeah,
defensively there in the second half, y'all really stymied them up there. They didn't score a point in the second half. They didn't score until overtime. Tell us what was the goal there, or the mindset on defense, especially what did Coach tell you? I guess there at the halftime you were down 14-0. We called your name out a lot on defense. So what was the defensive mindset there in the second half?
He's just saying we have to keep playing for our seniors and keep playing for each other, and because we're still not out of this thing. If we go on next week and win, we got a chance of making the playoffs.
That's it. You win next week, make the playoffs. Well, great job out there tonight, Logan. Look forward to watching you guys next week. Get that win next week. Let's go in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, good job there by Logan Mullins. Again, caught his name out several times tonight, making some huge tackles there on the defensive side of the ball. Again, great job by the defense in the second half, keeping Gate City off the scoreboard. Next up, we have Mr. Tyson Tester.
I'm sorry, Chris. I got to do it. Nacho!
We got Nacho stepping in. Grab you a seat there, Nacho. Grab you a seat and get that headset on. Tyson, we called your name out several times too. We just talked to Logan about the defense. I got a couple things here to ask you. One is, what did Coach Owens tell you guys on the defensive side there in the second half?
Man, he just told us not to overcorrect on the ball and pull the chain across the line. They kept hitting us that backside dive because we pulled too many across, so we adjusted and just put everybody even on the line.
Good job there on the defensive side on the second half especially. Next question I got, did you come in tonight thinking you were going to catch a 2-point conversion?
I did not. I was hoping not because I knew the snap would go back.
Well, you caught a 2-point conversion, and you go back and look at it again. Great job by Dime to get out of the pocket there and elude the pressure. And I guess good job of you standing there waiting for that pass in the corner for the 2-point conversion. Hey, you look at it one way, 2-point conversion was the deciding factor in the game, right?
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So there you go. So your 2-point conversion might have been is the difference in the game, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So next week on to Grundy. You guys ready for next week?
Oh, yeah. We come out with a bunch of young guys, and they're all fired up over this win.
All right. So win next week, get you guys in playoffs. So good luck next week, Tyson, and we'll see you next week.
All right, see you.
All right. Again, that's Tyson Tester, number 22, caught a huge 2-point conversion here tonight. Made a bunch of big tackles there on the defensive side of the football. I believe we've got one more guy standing out here, and he may have made 2 memorable plays here tonight that we'll have to ask him about here tonight. And next up is number 23, running back CJ Crabtree. Scoot up here to the mic, CJ. First question I got to ask CJ, and I hesitate to ask. Fourth quarter. Less than, 4 minutes left. You break a huge run. Get down inside the 5. What happened?
It was just a big mistake on my part. I was trying to get some extra yards on it, and I didn't really have the ball good. And
yeah,
just a big step.
Looked like it just sort of slipped out. And was you touched, or did it just kind of slip out?
It just kind of slipped out.
Just kind of slipped out. Yeah. Again, but luckily for you, your defense came up big there. They kept Gate City out of the end zone. And then here we go. We go to overtime. Gate City scores, takes a 7-point lead. And, you guys come back and get the ball. We punch it in for the touchdown, make it 21-20. And what's great about sports is sometimes you can go from being the GOAT to being the hero, and it worked out great for you tonight. Describe that last play.
I owe it mostly to my offensive line. They had some great blocks on that play, and I just tried to punch it in and redeem myself on that one.
And you give credit to the offensive line just like any good running back does, but at the same time, you got to give a little bit of credit to yourself. That's a great dive and great stretch right there to get that ball across the end zone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great job tonight, CJ. Great job running tonight. Again, CJ Crabtree coming up with that huge 2-point conversion. Good luck next week, CJ, and bring home that win against Grundy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, that's CJ Crabtree scoring the 2-point conversion there in overtime. They gave the Centrals, the Warriors, the final 22-21 victory. And again, keeps those postseason hopes alive. Kelly, that was a good one.
That's a good one.
Got any closing thoughts on that before we wrap it up?
My first thought was tomorrow's Friday. And we got to go to school tomorrow and work and all that good stuff. But you know what? A little bit easier to go to school, work tomorrow after a win.
Exactly. Especially for these boys. They get to go to school tomorrow. If they'd have lost that game, it would have been a very long, dreadful day at school.
I think we need to give them a day off tomorrow.
That
day off victory.
That's not my call.
Just kidding.
They can call some other powers that be and maybe get that cleared. So, it definitely makes going to work or going to school tomorrow a little bit easier when you're on the winning side. It could be a lot worse.
Absolutely.
You could have an hour drive home after that loss.
After the L.
There you go. And that's what Gay City has to do tonight. They got that hour drive. Again, thanks to our sponsors tonight, the Heaters Baseball Club, Morgan McClure, Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac of Coburn, Virginia, Evan Sturgill Photography, Lonesome Pine Country Club, England Consulting Group, and Shade Tree Landscaping. Again, looking for a sponsor next week. Would love to have someone jump on that so we can bring you that very important Grundy game. that will decide whether or not the Central Warriors can go to the postseason. If they are to win that one, we'd love to have another sponsor who might be able to bring you that postseason playoff game, assuming the Warriors can get there. Again, the Warriors are victorious tonight in overtime, 22-21. For Kelly Foster, I am Chris Wilson telling everyone, we got one more announcement.
I just want to say this one thing, Chris.
Go ahead.
Halloween will take place before our next football game. So may all your candy not need x-rayed.
There you go. I also had a lot of people chiming in that is not a Christmas candy. So there you go.
It is.
All right. So again, go back and listen to that. If you're lost what we're talking about, good halftime show tonight. We're talking about Halloween candy. Again, the Warriors win tonight 22-21 in overtime. For Kelly Foster, I am Chris Wilson again, attempting to say good night.